for business. Big Sills, appreciate you coming aboard here. Thank you guys very much. Also, I got to tell you about these combines. These NFL combines have as much content as any regular season week that I can remember in NFL history and me covering the sport. I mean, there are storylines for almost every single football team that's out there. I mean, especially the Philadelphia Eagles, and some of the comments that have been made by Howie and Nick, and we're going to get into that here in a second. By the way, Battle Royale will be with us. That'll be at 4:30. Hit the like button. We appreciate each and every single one of you in here. I will give you some information on what's going on in Indianapolis. Haven't spoken to my friend that's an executive with the New England Patriots, Mike Vrabel and Elliott Wolf and Alonzo Highsmith are indeed reaching out to the Philadelphia Eagles in an attempt to make a trade for A.J. Brown. Now, are the Eagles going to be players in this? Is A.J. Brown going to be a player in this? So there is conversation. By the way, Mike Vrabel has been peppered with questions about A.J. Brown at the combines. It's one of the biggest topics in New England right now. And they are in a conversation in New England, and they've been trying to do this for over 2 years now in getting A.J. Brown to New England. Mike Vrabel and A.J. Brown have a spectacular relationship. They've been in contact with one another. They have stayed in contact with each other. Mike Vrabel did not want in any way to move the player when Robinson was the general manager of the team. Excuse me. So right now, again, this is going to be one of numerous teams that I think are going to try to make a play for AJ. So A.J. Brown and the Patriots, that's the first domino to fall. They are indeed talking to the Eagles. Now, all of this stuff is preliminary because it has to go through agent conversations. And legally, they can't make any comments about another player on another team because it would be considered illegal. But we can tell you right now that the interest level in both the Eagles and the Patriots is high. And I would think that by the end of the combines, you're going to start to see that steam pick up even more. So March 11th is around the corner. Now, this would also dictate that A.J. Brown would have to play ball here and restructure that contract to make it compatible for them to be able to move him. I am now even more convinced he's out. And he's not back with this football team. And he's going to New England or another team. So, this is just one of the dominoes. Now, all of this stuff is being hammered out over St. Elmo's in a 4-shrimp cocktail that's $23. A little spicy. And what I told the executive with the New England Patriots, I said, I don't see any oceans near Indianapolis. Shrimp cocktails, the legendary signature dish in Indianapolis. How long did those Swimpies stay on that airplane? 13 hours? You know me, I want to live near an ocean when I'm eating shrimp cocktail. I'm not living in Indianapolis. So, I mean, I'm even more convinced that this thing is going to get done here. And so, no doubt, make no mistake about it, a lot of stuff is going on here, and most notably, the biggest domino to fall has to be A.J. Brown. That's the number one topic right now. It is the number one issue. Hit the like button. We appreciate you all. Super chats go to the top. We're going to get to the topics here in a minute. A lot of things were said, too, if you go back and listen to Howie. And we are, by the way, I thought Doug Peterson was great. We got some comments. And we just have a boatload of stuff today to hit on. So, again, we appreciate you guys being here. Bob, AJ will play ball to get his deal done. That said, Howie needs a clear win because last year's Temu plan did not work. They're not going to go shopping in any way whatsoever. They're not going shopping and bringing guys in. If you think there's going to be some sort of like Myles Garrett conversation about the Eagles being involved in it, you're out of your minds. They're not playing ball these next 2 years. That's not happening. Here's M. Reyes with a lie. A.J. Brown has come out and professed his absolute admiration for Mike Vrabel. And Mike Vrabel has come out today at the Combines and expressed their great friendship and great relationship that they have. Once again, this is a lie. And so Vrabel is been peppered all day long. Videos are all over saying his relationship with A.J. Brown has been absolutely a very close one, and we stay in touch all the time. Those are direct quotes. So when you see someone like this making lies up, as always, it's not true. Okay? Not true. AJ and Vrabel fought each other at Tennessee. Not true. Not true. The reason that the general manager got fired. Here, I'll give you the direct quotes. You guys are stupid, man. You're absolutely stupid. Okay? You're absolutely stupid. Here's videos. Mike Vrabel talks about his love for A.J. Brown and talks about their great relationship. And IP's got all these videos posted on their wonderful relationship. You guys are just talking shit. So we move on. There's no doubt they have a wonderful relationship and they have a spectacular opportunity to bring him to New England. How you doing? Stupid is, stupid does. No doubt, those two are dumb as shit. I don't see Devontae having success as a true number one. It would be a huge mistake in moving A.J. Brown unless he literally doesn't want to be here anymore because of the inept quarterback. Of course he doesn't want to be here because the quarterback can't get him the ball on time. No shit, Vrabel's saying this. He used to coach A.J. for the Titans. Thank you, Mr. Obvious. No doubt. A.J. only hated him as a rookie. Okay? That's not how A.J. Brown's talking right now. He said Mike Vrabel holds everyone accountable. I didn't understand what he was doing when I was a rookie. And after all these years, he goes, I get it now. This guy just wants the best for me. That's why we're in a great place now. Okay? That's right. Hey, listen. It's irrelevant what these two idiots are saying. The Philadelphia Eagles and the Patriots are talking. They were talking a year ago. It's irrelevant. As Big Sil said, out, open for business. Open for business, baby. Trade A.J. Brown. Let's see what happens. Everyone's acting all scared. Trade him as soon as possible to the Raiders. You're not getting Max Crosby. You're not bringing in a $35 million guy. Remember this. You're Temu shopping. You're Temu shopping. A.J. about killed that man on live TV. Big Dom bought shit his pants. Okay? Yeah, that's why they're both working on getting a deal done to go to New England. Why does he want to be a Patriot then? How about this? I mean, right? Good question. You think the Patriots would give up the first and third round this year? Because they're going to have to post-date it, that first round will be for 27. And I believe that'll be I think that you're going to be able to get those draft picks. I think they're going to be for next year, if I'm not mistaken, and how that works. Unless they restructure. Now, if they restructure and they can make that happen for this year, remember something too, Prince. AJ's got to make that thing work too. 2 firsts and Gonzalez. Get the fuck out of here. AJ is such a good player. Can't see Smith as number one. Devontae Smith is not a number one with that quarterback. Sills, regardless of AJ's felt about Vrabel in the past, a few years under Nick makes you understand the grass isn't greener on the other side. Absolutely true. Y'all see how happy Sills gets at the idea of the Eagles letting go a good player? Get out of my city, bro. Get out of my city. Why? Because they're working on a deal to trade your boy? Okay? Not good. Devontae Smith is a good wide receiver, not a great one. Devontae Smith is a heck of a player. He's not a number one. He's not carrying a football team. Let me ask you something. You think Devontae Smith is as good as Jamar Chase? I'll ask you. You think Devontae Smith is as good as Jamar Chase? Yes or no? Do you? Sills, this is just me. I think they take Perkins in to replace Dean. What round? You think that Devontae Smith, who's a number 2 in this offense, and he can't even beat out AJ to be the number 1 guy, Kim, is better than Jamar Chase? I mean, they don't even – do you think he's better than JSN? Do you think Devontae Smith is better than Puka Nacua? Devontae Smith is like a T. Higgins. No shade on that. Man. Well, you about to find out. What's going on there, Flexin? What's going on with YouTube? Howie said you don't know AJ from a can of paint. He's a great locker room guy. Howie said, I don't know AJ from – I never said he wasn't a bad – I didn't say he was a bad locker room guy. May is no better than Hurts passing the ball. That's ridiculous. Ridiculous. So wait a minute. How do you have 2 1,000 yards receivers and your quarterback's never thrown for $4,000? Devontae Smith could be better than JSN if he had Darnold. Not sure what that means. Seals can take a towel and roll it up and sell it as a rope. I'm not doing this. I'm not doing any of this. AJ isn't going anywhere unless the Patriots give up that 1 and 2 first. That's fucking nuts. Gonzalez, a 1 and a 2? Your player ain't that good. If you had a better, more accurate passer, you could get by with D. Smith as a number 1. I'll buy that. But that would require more use of the tight end across the middle. Hurts can't do that. That is a great take. Dual threat, that's a great take. Did you watch the Pats in the playoffs? Maybe Drake May was horrible. Okay, let's put this out there. I saw Jalen Hurts versus that Charger team turn the ball over, what was it, 4 times? How many times did Jalen Hurts turn the ball over against the Chargers? Anybody remember? How many times did Jalen Hurts turn the ball over? Jalen Hurts turned the ball over against the Chargers 5 times. Drake May beat that team in the playoffs, did he not? Drake May beat the Chargers, who are the 4th-ranked defense in football. Then they turned around and played the number 1 defense in football, the Texans. Then they turned around and played the number 2 defense in football, the Broncos. Then they turned around and played the number 5 defense in the Seahawks. The guy went 3-1 and lost the most significant game, obviously. Shit. Hurts against those defenses? This guy would have had 25 turnovers. Ain't that good? Why pitch this much for him then? I think a 1 and a 3, if you're looking at New England's 32nd pick or 31st pick and a 3, I think that's fair compensation. I think that's fair compensation. I do. Jalen is horrible in the pocket. Totally. Pats need O-line more than AJ. Yeah, but a receiver like that can help your O-line and your run game. Okay? And your run game. Drake May wasn't playing against Jarrett Stidham. He was playing against the Broncos' number 2 defense. Like Jarrett Stidham was playing fucking football on defense. The dumbest stuff sometimes. Was playing against Jarrett Stidham? When was that? Dan, we don't care when you compare Hurts to other quarterbacks. We just want wins and Super Bowls. That's why they've changed the entire offense. Okay, so Hurts wins because of talent and May carried the team. You're delusional. I never said May carried the team. I said May played against some tough defenses. You added that bullshit. So M. Reyes says, playing against a Charger team that kicked the fucking shit out of the Eagles, with a quarterback with a broken hand, was soft. The Texans were soft. The Broncos defense, which you got your asses handed by them as well. By the way, Drake may be 2 teams you lost to, the Broncos and the Chargers. Soft schedule? Those 2 teams kicked your ass. What happened? I mean, what happened? May beat both those teams. Why would somebody with such terrible takes draw attention to them with all caps? Good call. We won't be going to that idiot. Hey, Sills, real quick. How many people outside the Eagle fan base have Hurts in the top 10 as a quarterback? None. Drake had 4 teams with a top 10 defense, top 10 offensive defense, only has 2 playoff wins. Actually, he has 3 playoff wins. Okay? He's 3-1. Denver was the number 1 seed. They beat the Chargers. They beat the Texans. They beat the Broncos. He's 3-1. Eagle fans, they lost a man with a broken hand. I mean, right. Right. So let's get to the topics. By the way, as we get to the topics, let me go back to the opening page here. Let's see here. When all your old linemen are hurt in your running offense, what are you to do? Well, David, good call. So, David, do you think you were healthier than the 49ers in that playoff game? Yes or no? In that playoff game against the San Francisco 49ers, in your opinion, were you healthier than the 49ers? Okay. Were you? Sounds like your quarterback. Did you did you think the 49ers? Did you think the 49ers were healthier than you when you played them? Or no? What happened in that game? So you think the 49ers were healthier? They had 2 linebackers they signed off the street. Okay? They lost Warner, Kittle in the first 4 minutes of the game, and Nick Bosa. All their star players. And you think the 49ers were healthier? Another delusional Eagle fan. Seals, I would love the ability to find a veteran quarterback, Cousins, to work with the talent we have on offense. That no trade is killing us. Hurts is the piece to move, but it's not possible yet. No way it's not possible. Eagles had 21 of 22 starters playing. Great call, Crowley. Yeah, Cousins to the Eagles doesn't make sense. That 49ers, no excuses. Okay? Eagles folded. Here. So I want to ask you something that came out of this. And this goes to Doug Peterson. Doug said something yesterday. And let me ask you something here. Guys, by the way, please hit the like button. Appreciate all of you being here. Okay? Thank you. Super chats go to the top, by the way. Help me out on this. Doug said something yesterday, and I want to get your and I want to hear you. Okay? You. Doug said when I asked him the question on building an offense, I want to build the offense through the eyes of the quarterback. I went back and listened to that interview. Do you believe that they're building this offense through the eyes of Jalen Hurts? Yes or no? Do you believe that they're building this offense through the eyes of the quarterback? College football has been so much better for me the last 2 years. Good for you, Kimbo. No. I'm asking you right now, Casey. Do you believe they're building this offense through the eyes of Jalen Hurts? Sills, let's be real. We got out-coached and brick-handed AJ in the 49er game. Good take. I like that. Now, no. Okay? Coaches build to the strengths of their teams. No, they don't. They build to the strength of their quarterback because you build the team around the quarterback. And you built, so you're saying, wait a minute. So Steve believes in scheme over players. He believes in plays over players. Name me one coach who believes that. Okay? Name me one coach who does that. Nobody builds a scheme. You recruit and sign players to how you play. Okay, I agree to that. 22 Hurts was an elite weapon. Yes. I agree. Well, Shanahan, he signs players that has a skill set that he enjoys coaching. Progressive reading quarterbacks. And he builds an offense to the quarterback's skill. Garoppolo was a little bit different. And are you saying Garoppolo's the same player? Get the fuck out of here. You know what the fuck you're talking about. Sills, they are building the offense. They want and accept Hurts to run it. That's not how you build an offense. That's not how you build an offense. Doesn't Shanahan only have a scheme and forces his players to run it? So wait, let me get this right. The reason that Jalen Hurts is in a box the way he is because Nick doesn't know how to coach it. He's changed every single thing the way that he's ever been taught how to run an offense. They run the football. He wasn't raised around that. He was raised around the ability of Jalen Hurts to run the ball. And so what they do is they're not building the team through the eyes of the quarterback in Philly. They're building it through what Nick thinks is best for the team. That's why the quarterback has so many coordinators over the last 6 years. They don't build the football team around the quarterback. They build the football team around Nick. So Nick can coach it. Puts a quarterback in a sandbox and says, here's your responsibilities. Now, this year they're going to try to do something different. I don't believe it. I don't believe it. You all notice we had every quarterback possible, and it took the likes of Nick Foles and Jalen Hurts to take us to a Super Bowl. You all shit on Jalen Hurts every time. Look at the history of quarterbacks. Yeah, you don't have to be elite to play the position to get to a Super Bowl. Didn't you see that this last 2 years? Shanahan, love him for its 56 minutes of the game. I think he panics a little bit too. Seals, aren't the Eagles doing this 1 year too early considering Hurts' limitations? Or do they not care and will move on in 27? I got to tell you, Duel, I don't believe they're moving on from Nick Sirianni come hell or high water. And I'm going to explain why here in a minute. Okay? I don't believe Nick knows how to build an offense. I think he does. He knows the quarterback is not good enough, so he builds it around the run game. You know, I'm going to get to the topic here, the big topic here in a minute. Nick will outlast Jalen. It's a great topic. Who do you think outlasts who? Nick or Jalen? I'm going Nick. I'm going Nick. I think Nick outlasts Jalen. I know that's not a popular take. Nick's going to outdo it. You know why? They're asking him to change the entire offense. Now, they're not going to go at the same time. No way. So you're going to, this is a this is a 6-month experiment? There you go. Bob's thinking with money. Correct. Bob's thinking with dough. Absolutely. He's thinking with cash. Yeah. Nick will throw anybody under the bus. All right. That's a great way to go into this now. So, do you guys believe that it was health or scheme? Health or scheme that the Eagles are thinking right now that they could be a contender again? Does Howie believe the roster is a Super Bowl roster right now? Okay. That same scheme went 50-18 in 4 years. That scheme went 50-18 and won 2 NFC titles in a Super Bowl. Okay? Why are you changing it? Follow me here. Hit the like button, guys. We appreciate you guys being in here. Thank you. Okay? Let me ask you this. Is it possible that Nick Sirianni and Jeff Stoutland started butting heads in the locker room and how to approach the run game? And that Nick forced out Jeff Stoutland? This is more about getting the run game to where Nick wants it. And I think that Jeff Stoutland is in his way. How about this too, Leon? You think Jeff Stoutland was in any way in Jalen's way? This is too high complex of a conversation for Prince. So I would understand this. Leon, do you believe that Jeff Stoutland was a little bit in the way of Jalen Hurts' progress? Okay? In developing him as a quarterback. Do you believe it? Yes or no? Well, here, Stoutland's out for a fucking reason. And if you're looking to improve the run game, why are you hiring a nobody O-line coach? This is the story behind the story. Why are you concerned about the run game? Nick believes he knows how to improve the run game more than Jeff Stoutland. This is an ego move. This is Nick Sirianni believing. Now, again, he's the head coach. And he believes, get this. So wait a minute here. This is a great take here. So Duel, as a head coach, Nick's the head coach, get on board or get out. So when Jeff Stoutland was producing for you 2 NFC championships, actually 3 NFC championships and 2 Super Bowls in his time as the offensive coach in the run game, what makes you think you know more about the run game than Jeff Stoutland? You're under the impression that you believe Nick knows more than Jeff. I don't believe that. Do you really believe that? That Nick Sirianni knows more about the run game? By the way, based on where in history does he know more about the run game? Where was he that there was a great running attack that he was in charge of? Where was this? Where? Give me some history that Nick was in charge. Okay? Brian Westbrook is equal to Saquon. Brian Westbrook has had a better career than Saquon. And he's a better ball player. He could do more. It's not an ego move. It's a move to try to improve the passing game. No, it's not. This is about improving the run game. Because if you can't improve the run game, you heard Doug yesterday. If you're going to have a good passing game, you got to have a great run game. Doug said that yesterday. You want to know what the best friend of a quarterback is and the best friend of a passing game is having an elite offensive line. Did you not hear him or what? We got a bunch of coaches in here who think they know more than Doug Peterson. If they truly trying to change this offense, it's going to put pressure on Hurts to run. I think you guys are looking at it wrong. This is about the run game. And here's something that I think was fool's gold for Nick. So last year when they started putting Jalen Hurts under center, within a matter of 6 months, after winning a Super Bowl and having an iconic run game, he took control of the run game. Nick Sirianni did. And took it away from Stoutland. Why? And get this. So follow the progressions here. So let's take a look at the Eagles here for a second. And let's go back and take a look at Philly. And let's go back. Schedule. Let's go back. Okay. So in the first game against Dallas, Jalen Hurts had 62 yards rushing. Let me see what the team total was. The Eagles had 158 yards rushing. in that first game against the Cowboys. Okay? It's 158 games rushing. Sills, if they're trying to make a West Coast offense, don't they need a back that catches out of the backfield and Barkley, depending on what they're going to do, though, here, man, and how much they're really going to change to that? Let me go to the next game against Kansas City. So the Eagles ran the next week for 122 yards against Kansas City. So in the first 3 games, they ran the ball for 280 yards. 2 games. Okay? Averaging about 140 yards a clip in the first 2 games of the season. Okay? Let's go to the third game. The Eagles played against the Rams. Birds. Eagles had only 86 yards against the Rams. So in 3 games, let's see here, 366 yards in 3 ball games. 86, not Eagle-like. I agree. Supposedly by week 6, Nick had done more and started getting more involved in the run game. So let's go down to Tampa. Good run defense. Bucks, I think, finished 5th or 6th. Eagles had 88 yards rushing. Starting to see less than 100. And by the way, Cam and Dickerson were massively hurt in this time. Okay, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 9, 15. That's 454 yards of rushing that they had in 4 games. So in the first 4 games of the season, they're averaging about 120 yards a game. Nick comes in and takes over. Based on what? 4 games from the Super Bowl. So from the time they won the Super Bowl against Kansas City, in 5 games, Nick Sirianni takes control of the offensive running attack and pushes Stoutland aside and starts to do other things and starts to insult Jeff Stoutland. And he takes over in 5 games. 5 games from winning the Super Bowl. 20 quarters. He basically starts having influence in the run game. 20 quarters. They're moving off Stout's power run style and moving it to a pass first to open up the run. Well, then they're building the offense through scheme and not the quarterback's eyes then. This is the point, Mikey, I'm getting to. Then you're building the team through the coach's vision, not through the quarterback's eyes. This is through Nick's eyes. Doug was giving you something yesterday and you didn't want to hear it. Okay? And let's see after. Let's go here. Let's go down the lane here. And let's take a look at the last 4 ball games of the year. And these were shitty. How about we look? Let's go even. These were shitty teams, the last 4. And I'm going to show you something here. 31-0 against the Raiders, who surrendered. Eagles ran the ball for 183. Nick Sirianni believed that because they were doing better against the run against the fucking Raiders and the Commanders, that he had some sort of, with 207 versus the Commanders, Then they went and they did Buffalo. And they were back to 82 yards against a good defense. So Nick Sirianni at the end of the year he didn't improve the run game. You were playing shittier teams. Nick panicked. Pushed Stoutland out. Run game didn't improve. You played shittier teams. You got to put things into context. Here, what was the best run performance that they had in the second half? I probably think it was that Washington game. What'd you do against Chicago? They had 87 yards rushing. Supposedly after week 6, Nick took over or had more influence. Dallas too. This makes no sense. You're 63. Where did Nick improve? The Raiders and the Commanders? So they went with those fool's gold. Here, what did they do in the last game against Washington even? They ran the ball for 80 yards. They pulled everybody in that game, though. They didn't play anybody. So in the last games that mattered, Buffalo, they ran the ball against a good defense. Same bullshit, 82 yards. And then when they looked at, and you know what they say they improved? They improved against the Washington Commanders, where they ran the ball for 207 yards. And the Commanders were a 4-win team. The Raiders, you ran for 280. And you looked at it, I think he ran for 280. You ran for 183. So wait a minute. Jeff Stoutland didn't get the benefit of injuries? And you think Nick improved the run game? Based on what? Where did he improve the run game? So he after 5 fucking games, he replaced Jeff Stoutland or had put his influence in the run game. And then you hire Chris Cooper. Help me on this. I get it. He's the head coach. I completely get it. He's the head football coach. But where did he improve the run game? To where you insult Nick Sirianni or you insult Jeff Stoutland. They're setting up Jalen as a scapegoat. They can start the transition to the West Coast and have an excuse to get rid of the dude in 27. 21 in the first 4 games, and 23 after week 11, and last season, there are times when Nick took over. Compared to 2 Giant games, well, Scatterboo and those were different, weren't the 2 Giant games? Okay, so wait a minute. You're basing it off the 2 Giant games. The Eagles had 73 yards rushing. And in the second game, when the Giants didn't have Scatterboo or Malik Neighbors. This guy wants to do Giants too. And he thinks they got better because they ran the ball for 276 against that team, that at the time 2-win Giant team. Dude, you're a fool. The second Giants game was the first game they used 12 personnel and played under center. Reported by Adam Kaplan, what you guys heard, by week 6, Nick started doing more influence in the run game. Okay, let's go here then. 12, they started Let's go by you, Rasputin. Let's go by what you said. All right, since that Giant game. Let's see what they did in the Green Bay game right after that when they supposedly went to 12 personnel. They had 100 yards rushing. Okay, not bad. In the Detroit game, they had 148. It's a good effort against Detroit. Chicago. Oh, excuse me, Dallas. They had 63 yards rushing. Chicago. They had 87 yards rushing. Against a football team that had 5 new starters on it, too. Los Angeles. $130. Good effort against good defense. And then, of course, the Vegas and Washington. And when you played against the playoff team, what did you do against the Bills? You had 80 yards rushing. So you didn't improve. You didn't improve the run game. Based on what? It was the same shit. So let me get this right. Jeff Stoutland doesn't get the benefit. How many people believe, and this is why we asked you, how many people believe that the Philadelphia Eagles last year, one of the major issues of your football team was the injuries on the O-line? How many people believe that? Same shit you did a year before, where you mowed teams over. Same offense. How many times do you hear John McMullen say, it was the same offense in 2024? Same offense. Okay? That you rolled back in 25. How many people believe that the team's issues this year was related explicitly to injuries? Okay? How many people believe that? That it, what? So here's my point. Oh, I see. So Nick Sirianni gets the benefit of, here, DFW. So Nick Sirianni gets the benefit of the doubt that the team were a Super Bowl contending team because of injuries. Okay? And Jeff Stoutland didn't. Injuries. Jersey, how about this? So at the end of the day, everyone got the benefit of the doubt except the head coach or except Stoutland? I think that's a power play. Even Doug Peterson said it. I got a text message from Coach. You moved off of Jeff Stoutland and you hired a guy like that? No disrespect, he said. But who's he? Who's Chris Cooper? Who's Chris Cooper? What would he possibly know that Jeff Stoutland doesn't know? Now, I will come back and say it is Sirianni's ball and his bat and ball. There's no doubt about it. Okay? There's no question. It's his bat and ball. But, dude, you're not, first and foremost, you're not building the team through the quarterback's eyes. The Eagles, I mean, you're just not. They're not building it for Jalen Hurts. What does that have to do with being a good coach and developing players? I think you're being sarcastic. Old saying is, if you move off of someone like Stoutland, You better be better than the coach in line. That's right. I don't mind people being moved and being fired. Who are you replacing them with? You're replacing them with a guy? You're just replacing these dudes with guys. That's why I don't understand the take that Hurts is gone before Sirianni. Wait a second. Senor, here's why. I disagree with John McMullen with this. How many people in here believe that Nick Sirianni makes coaching decisions by himself and doesn't confer with anybody in that organization? And that doesn't mean Howie. I'm talking about, do you really believe when you move off of a $5 million offensive line coach that you're going to start implementing more things that you want and you're going to start, I don't want to use the word, start having your influence on his position? You think that's just, hey, boy, the Eagles really went overboard to make sure that his exit seemed like it was a mutual. It was not mutual. And by the way, this now makes even more sense. Let me go back to Jeff Stoutland here for a second. Why in the world would A.J. Brown want to come back to this? By the way, he's taken off every Philadelphia. I've decided my time coaching with the Eagles has come to an end. When I arrived in 2013, I didn't know what I was signing up for. I quickly learned what the city demands, but more importantly, what it gives back. The last 13 years have been great privilege of my coaching career. I didn't just work here. I became one of you. Stout out. There's no thanking no coaches. There's no thanking the Eagles. There's no thanking anybody. Hey, I came here. I did my job. They didn't want me to do my job at the end, so I'm out. That's how I read that. Doug Peterson yesterday showed me a lot. Sills, Nick getting Stout's scalp balance out. Nick having to fire, demote KP. It seems like an organizational package deal. Stout took his ball and went home. He's not coming back. Time waits for no one. I agree with this. Hey, Rico, you tell me, and having become a little closer now to Doug Peterson, you know what I asked him? On his way out, did you want to go? Is it true you wanted to leave because you didn't want to? He went like, I go, was it mutual? He went like this. I don't know mutual, but I had a way of doing things and seeing things, and they had a way of seeing things. And I think our visions got a little bit clouded. That's a nice way of saying, I'm not putting up with the bullshit anymore. And he walked out. And they packaged it up. And I believe Doug didn't want to hurt his legacy in Philly. And it's the right move. I think it's the right move. You know what? I will, Kyle, try to get Stoutland on. You know who I'm going to have make the call for me too? Mario Cristobal. He knows Jeff Stoutland very well. And I'll talk to him about it and trying to get him on. Mario took over for Jeff Stoutland at Alabama. The guys on the O-line already established. Just worried in 2 years when most of our O-line won't be resigned. Can Cooper develop the young guys coming in? Do you really believe that coach is going to be here past next year? You're right. The Eagles are the Browns. No, the Eagles are acting like the Browns. How much you paying Stout to get on? I don't pay anybody to come on my show. Never have. Never will. You don't see Stoutland coming back as a consultant help? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Good call. Probably got that in the contract. Knowing the Eagles, they probably have that in there that, he's being paid out and that he can't have any disparaging words towards the Eagles. That would probably be something that they would have as an exit for him on the way out, and what was negotiated, that you can't go on any of the shows and talk shit on. That's a great one. Chip Kelly. I got to figure out how I can get Chip Kelly on. I understand Nick is a yes man, and management will want him and want to keep him over Hurts. Rumors were Laurie wanted to fire Nick twice already, and Hurts has a no-trade clause. So if 2026 sucks, who gets fired? Well, the harder guy to move is Hurts. The easier guy to fire is Nick. But why go through all this? Here, Senor, help me out on this. So why is Nick gambling? Senor, why is Nick gambling, in your opinion? Why doesn't he just stay pat with what he's doing and let the thing run its course? And let's see if that 50-18 record, why doesn't he just let it run its course? Why is he gambling? Don't you think he was told to? They already went through all the offensive changes. What you mean coaching staff-wise, not player-wise? Nick is gambling. Howie hired these guys for Nick. Howie didn't hire Jordan Mailata for Nick. Howie didn't hire Jalen Hurts for Nick. Howie didn't hire Dallas Goedert for Nick. Not one of those guys were hired for him. Lane Johnson wasn't hired for Nick. I saw something in here. Somebody said, okay, Ramir, how come the league never catches up with Josh Allen and Patrick Mahomes and Joe Burrow? League don't catch up with those guys. Personnel issues on those teams are the issues. Nobody catches up with Joe Burrow. Nobody catches up with Lamar. Nobody catches up with any of those guys. They caught up with what? The quarterback? The offense? Nick? Do you think anybody caught up with Kansas City? Nobody caught up with Kansas City. Kansas City got old. Kansas City is going to retool like the Patriots did. Patriots had two dynasties. They had the beginning, they had a 10-year gap, and then they came back and won. Why? Because the quarterback was there. That's not catching up with somebody, asshole. That's a guy playing a bad game. Two of those guys didn't make the playoffs. But the Eagles did. Personnel issues, always the same excuses. Personnel issues are always the reason for teams' failures. Always. Some guys don't play up to their capabilities. Some guys do. Some guys get hurt. Some guys don't. I know you think it's an excuse, but that's called reality, dude. It's pro football. Or what? You don't think that's part of it? Free agency, people moving on. Well, you're going to get a good taste of it when AJ moves on. I can promise you. You're about to find out what personnel movement means. Okay? The organization is setting up to get rid of Hurts, not Nick. I don't believe this quarterback's going to evolve into this offense, so I will see. It's about talent. Then a commitment scheme is last. Shooter. Yeah. Scheme over players? How many times has Vic Fangio said, players over schemes every single day? I don't give a shit what you think my defense does. If I don't have the players, look at earlier in the year before you got Jalen Phillips. Your edge rushers were getting murdered. Murdered. And then when you added Phillips, it settled the whole unit down. Vic wasn't the reason you settled it down. Howie Roseman brought in Jalen Phillips. And that settled the defense down. Common sense. Use it. We've been bullying teams for the last 4 years with RPO and running the ball. 2 W's. The league put an end to all that, and now they have to go in a different direction. So you think you could, that would be like, Ramir, that'd be like you saying, well, we can't throw the ball anymore in Cincinnati, so Joe Burrow's going to have to learn to run an RPO. Or, hey, Josh, you can't run in Buffalo anymore. You just have to throw the football. Instead of using, as Doug said, building an offense through the quarterback's eyes. The only time they ever built the offense through Jalen Hurts' eyes in 22. I said this to you guys from day one. That's the best you'll see of that quarterback. Some people just don't have the testicular fortitude to perform when the lights are brightest. Reality, dude. Yeah, I don't give a fuck how you think and how good you think he is. If you don't have the players around him, 4th and 11, bro. You got beat by a JV team. The 49ers were a JV team. You couldn't beat a JV team. If you don't have the players, doesn't matter how good you think your dude is. Throw the ball and running the ball are 2 different things. If I had to pick one, I'm running the ball because you have no answers for it. Throwing the football, how many times have you guys told me about empty calorie stats? How many times have you guys told me about empty calorie stats? When it comes to, okay, when it comes to offenses and quarterbacks, empty calories. Not what you guys say? The organization is setting up, yeah. Yes. Throw the ball and running. Listen, of course they are. All right. Hit the like button. Another topic here. All right. Do you agree? So how many people believe they're changing the offense this coming 2026 season? We lost to a JV team that couldn't even make it to beat a JV team. They beat themselves. How you doing? They beat themselves. What a lame-ass take. They beat themselves. They showed up against a shitty football team. They had 21 to 22 starters, and they got beat. And that guy's making excuses. That's right. Even in a West Coast scheme, you have to be able to run the ball. Correct. Bob, yes, changing the offense. Okay, Bob. Go with me here on this one then, Bob. Help me out. By the way, hit the like button, guys. We appreciate you here. So when you change things and you give your football team a facelift, do you think, like, say you want to change some things in your company and you want to change the direction of maybe your sales department, and instead of saying you want to sell insurance, You want to sell stocks and bonds. Bob, are you with me? So you've got a company, a financial company, and your guys, they sold insurance companies. They sold insurance policies. And they were insurance guys. All of a sudden, the CEO comes down and says, listen, we're going to start selling stocks and commodities. First and foremost, you need guys with Series 7s. Most guys that are in the insurance industry have an insurance license, not a Series 7 on selling commodities. So you got to start getting rid of insurance guys and bringing people with stocks and commodities because they know how to sell commodities like frozen orange juice or gold or silver or sugar, things like that, right? So you've got to change your personnel. So let's go here with the Eagles. So you're going to change and go to that type of offense. The Eagles are in a rebuild. Or they're in the process of rebuilding. Do you agree? You change the entire coaching staff. So you change the philosophy and the coaching staff. Are you assuming the players are just going to fit in? Why? Because you say so? I mean, still, change like a facelift is minor. The change this team is making is a complete overhaul. Agreed. They're changing the guidance system while the plane is in air. Yeah, that's right. That's completely right. They're trying to do this shit on the fly. That's correct. Getting rid of Stoutland. By the way, next year when Vic Fangio leaves, how's that going to look? Who are you hiring for your D coordinator next year? And who's going to coach all of those high-priced guys next year? You have a talented team. That talented team got worked by the Niners, who got annihilated by the Seahawks. Here. One of my favorite lines of all time. Talent, not strategy. After Liars Month, this team was 7-7 the rest of the way. They had a 500 record the rest of the way out. It's a great comment here, actually, by this guy. Sky's falling? They're sure acting like it. Not me. Okay? Yeah, and you got fucking worked by the Chargers and Bears. And the Giants kicked your ass. The Giants kicked your ass. Team won 4 games. A 4-win football team didn't tell you everything you needed to know? Nothing will. Nothing will. Sills, Clint needs to be promoted to assistant head coach so he can't leave for a DC post. He should be Vic's replacement. Well, that depends on how and if Nick Sirianni's here. That all depends on Nick if he's here. Okay? Absolutely. Here. Get this. Look at this guy. Okay, here. Let me go to one of the shittier teams that you got beat by again. Let me see. What other shitty team did you get beat by this year? Oh, yeah, Washington beat you. I mean, yeah, Washington. Oh, I know. We pulled all our guys. Well, let's see. Cowboys beat you. The Bears beat you. The Chargers kicked the shit out of you. Defensively. Let's see who else. Denver, that was a really great game. The New York, how many games did the Giants win this year? They were 4-13. Giants were 4-13. Any given Sunday. There you go. That's what I'm saying. How many people believe that this is in a rebuild? How many people believe this is in a rebuild? Smash the Chiefs? I don't remember the Chiefs making the playoffs. None of these guys, including the coach, be on this team come 2028. It's a rebuild and nobody's seeing it. Amen. It is a rebuild. And I'm going to do the exercise one more time with you guys. How many people do you believe in that offensive line are going to be on this football team in 3 years? How many people believe that? Justin, how many people do you believe will be on this team from that offensive line? Not these homers. We're not going to these homers any longer. How many people do you believe in 3 years? Mulata. Okay? Let's see. So, how many people believe that Jordan Mulata, I agree with you, Mulata will be here. How many people, I don't believe Landon will be here in 3 years. I don't believe that Cam Jurgens will be here in 3 years. If you draft an offensive lineman, Tyler Steen will be replaced by the guy you draft in the first round. So I don't believe Steen will be here in 3 years. And Lane Johnson. You got one guy in the next 3 years. One guy, Jordan Mulata. That's not a rebuild? Steen will be here? Steen's going to be replaced this year. Steen's not a bad player. He's okay. I happen to agree with this. Shit, Landon's already talking about retirement. He was talking about whether or not he was going to retire this year. He's going to be here 4 years. Oh, my God. How is that not a rebuild? So let me get this right. Bob, hook me. Tell these people in here, Bob. So you hired a brand new coaching staff on offense. You're changing the offense, and your personnel, especially in your O-line, is in question in the next 3 years. How is that not a rebuild? And like Bob said, they're doing it on the fly. Okay, RC3. I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I don't know if they're going to draft a running or a offensive lineman in round 1. So I'll say this to you. If the Philadelphia Eagles sign a quarter or a offensive lineman and draft a O-lineman in the first 2 rounds, Tyler Steen won't be starting the 2026 season. I'll make that proclamation here on February 25th. If you draft an O-lineman in the first 2 rounds, Steen won't start in the starting game in September. I'll go there. And Steen will be your swing guard because they're going to need one with Landon's injuries. And he'll go back between left and right. Now, again, if he plays left guard, that's not starting. That's replacing Landon because he lost his job at right guard. The offense isn't going to drastically change. Then why'd you change the coaching staff drastically? You guys can't get around it. Doug Peterson said it yesterday. You're not following along. You have to build the offense through the quarterback's eyes. And if you're not building the offense through the quarterback's eyes, you're building it through the head coach's vision and scheme. This is not an offense for Jalen. This is an offense for Nick. You're completely missing it. They changed that staff for Nick. Or they would have kept going the way it was. Nick wanted an overhaul. Nick wanted Stoutland out. Dude, here, let me ask you something. If you really love somebody, okay? If you really love somebody, love them. And with all that love fest stuff that they put on social media, if you really love somebody so much, wouldn't you beg them to stay? How come the Eagles didn't beg them to stay? Nobody begged them to stay. Nobody begged the guy to stay. Nobody, like, they gave you this heartfelt love fest for the guy, but nobody said, hey, okay, hey, can you please stay? We want you to stay. They didn't beg him. They said good. They basically pushed his ass out. I happen to agree. I think this thing's turning into a complete overhaul. This thing looks like a complete overhaul. Okay? The offense isn't really going to drastically change. Yes, it is. Let's see. It is. Sills, every year is a rebuild in the NFL with 30+% turnover. Actually, it's more like 20% turnover, but they don't change. So what, you think the Kansas City Chiefs change their offense every year? You think the Bengals or the Bills or the Rams or the Seahawks change their offense every year? Boy, I don't. Sills, out with the old and in with the new. Yeah. Let's see how that works. Chris Cooper, a last-second O-line hire. Is you're out with the new or out with the old and in with the new? A last-second hire who didn't get his contract renewed in Minnesota? That's your take? That this was the last – you think they were sitting on him? Can't wait to hire Chris Cooper. Wow. Dude, you should see this guy. Like you poached him? Nick and Jalen are not part of the overhaul, but the back end of it is to replace them if they suck. That's what the Eagles say. There you go. Now you're starting to think there, Big Mike. Hey, that's right, Big Mike. Okay, Mike. Hey, that's what they. There you go. So this guy's not bullshitting. Good for you, dude. The front office believes they're more important than the players. They think they could put anybody in and win. Correct. Coach, quarterback, players. Here, let's do this. Let's take a look at something here on the coaching staff. It's a great take. That's absolutely a phenomenal take there. I'm going to show you guys something. So let's see here. Eagles coaches. Eagles coaches. Let's go to the coaches here. Let's see here. Coaches team. Ooh. All right. let's see here. Let's go. They're changing the page as I speak. Interesting. 2026 Eagle coaching staff. Eagles coaching staff. Here we go. Okay. 2026 Philadelphia Eagle coaching staff. So, okay. Got Big Joe in today. There you go. By the way, don't forget, Battle Royale will be with us at 4:30. Big Z's got some family stuff. All good. Don't worry about it. So, that'll be tomorrow. So we got Battle Royale with the guys. That'll be at 4:30. So we got more time with some of you idiots in here. So here's the coaching staff. Guys are going to love this. Okay? So here's the Eagles. How many years has Sean Mannion been with the Eagles? Well, that's right now it's 1. How many years has Vic been with the Eagles? This will be, let's see, 24, 25, 26. This will be 3 years. Passing game coordinator, Josh Grizzard. This will be 1. Let's see here. Run game coordinator, Ryan Mahaffrey. That's 1. O-line coach. That's 1. Quarterback coach, Parks Frazier. 2. Last year and now this year. Assistant quarterback coach, Montgomery Van Gora. 1. Wide receiver coach, Aaron Moorhead. He's been here, and so has the running back coach. So they've been here a bit. So I'm going to go 5 and 5. So here's your offensive coaching staff. 1 year, 3 year, 1 year, 1 year, 1 year, 2 year, 1 year, 1 year. Running back and wide receiver, 5 years. Average about 2 years on your offensive coaching staff. The entire coaching staff. Okay? The entire coaching staff averages 2 years. You have no experience in your offensive coaching staff. 0. 0 experience. The only experience you have is the head coach, the running back coach, and the wide receiver coach. You have 0 experience. And here, coordinator's first-time play caller. Grizzard was fired by the Bucs as their OC. Okay? Ryan Mahaffey is the new run game coordinator. And Chris Cooper, the O-line coach, is the last second hire. All right. They aren't stuck in their ways. Sometimes old heads don't want to change. So I'll say it again to Twiz here. So Twiz is cool with people who have never done dick versus people who have had success. Is that right? So a guy who's never proved anything. As a collection, hey, I don't mind you having a guy brand new in the building. But the entire staff? Okay, Chase. You'd rather have people with no experience and have people in that aren't stuck in their ways as a coaching staff versus people that have never done anything? Based on, would you ever hire people like that? If you had a business, I'm going to hire a whole group of people who have never done anything in their lives. And I want those people to run my business. That's how you're going to do it? Instead of bringing people that know what they're doing in? If they were doing this, why not hire? I don't know. Just you always say the league is always evolving. The Eagles took that to an extreme. Okay. Hey, let me ask you something. Mike, you bring a great question. Mike, you bring a great point up. Do you think they put more heat on Nick than we're being told? Change or else? In a subtle way? Could that be? Hey, Nick, we need to do something here. The wide receiving core, it's predictable, the passing game, the run game, that, run game's going nowhere. We need to do something different here going into 25. The O-line's getting older. You're going to have to make some changes in the O-line coming up in the next 3 years. Doesn't it sound like these guys had an epiphany over the last couple weeks since the end of the season and went, we got to do some changes here, man? Because I can guarantee you this, Howie doesn't want another 4-win season on his resume. That's not what he's looking for. But this is a swing, boss. Like I said, so Nick Sirianni said that he wanted to hire a guy with more experience in play calling. And you hired a guy with no experience in play calling. Well, who did he impress? Nick? Nick double talked. Nick told you this. Nick goes like this. Look. He goes, I wanted to hire a guy that had great experience in play calling. Well, all of a sudden, the direct opposite happened. That's the new youngers. Think they know more. We don't know jack. Experience means something. Experience means everything. Get this. If you're a coordinator and you're an offensive line coach and you're somebody as talented as Jeff Stoutland, you know what a coach like that does coming over to the sidelines? Say you're down 10. Your offensive line coach, or your D-line coach, like a Lamar Leachman who coached me, he'll walk over, look at you and go, relax. It's all good. Been there before. Keep doing your job. You got to get up on that second level. You can't let that guy slip you like that, Sileo. You got to keep your head outside there. Got to play better technique. Focus in more. Okay? You're taking too shallow of a step. Take a flatter step so that guy doesn't reach you like that and gets up on our backer. Can't have that. Guy cut the edges off on us and was up the seam. Can't do that. Got to get wider. If you got to cheat out, cheat out. Okay? I mean, that's how great coaches talk to you. And they'll sit there and they'll be calm with you because they've seen it all. And you know what that does to the players? The players sit back and go, Stout's got us. Butch Davis got us. Dave Wannstedt's got us. Coach has been here before. Got us. When I got a guy that's never done that shit, I'd be like this. We're getting killed, and this guy's panicking. Or, what do you guys want to do? I don't want to hear that. I want a coach to sit down and look you in the face and go, you're getting beat. He's getting up on you. We need to do something here. I'm doing everything I can. I'm putting you guys in a better position, but they're running the ball on us here. Okay? Cleveland Browns had McVay, McDaniel, Shanahan coaching And look who they got coaching now. It's all a gamble. Well, that's why they're the fucking Browns. That's why they're the Browns. You're comparing the Browns to the Eagles? Based on what? The Browns have had how many winning seasons? What year? This guy's comparing the Browns and the Eagles. What year did the Browns go back? Browns year back in Cleveland. I want to show you something. Don't ever compare the Cleveland Browns to the Eagles or to anybody. So 1999, they got their franchise back and they started business up. Remember the whole thing? They kept the helmet and all the gear. So Browns year to year. I want to show you something about the Browns. Browns year to year. So since 1999, here's the Cleveland Browns. You want to know what a shitty organization is? These guys are the M. Reyes of the NFL. Ready? Let's see. How many winning seasons? 1, 2, 3, 4. Since 1999, the M. Reyes Browns have 2 winning seasons since they've been back in Cleveland. 2 winning seasons. They're like the M. Reyeses. There you go. That's the M. Reyeses of the NFL. Losers. The playoff runs in 30 years. Let's see the last time they had a playoff win. The Browns. 2020, that's Baker Mayfield, by the way. And they've had, get this, they've had 1 playoff win since 1994. The M. Reyeses. And this guy right here is comparing the Eagles to the Browns. There you go. Who? Never heard of him. Shows the front office analytics team split these coaching changes out because they were not football decisions. Hey, how about this? So you believe that Nick's making these moves. I don't agree with John. I agree with Zander. I think these guys have separated themselves this year from Nick because Nick Reyes Sirianni is like, he's on the hot seat this year. The greatest coach in the history of the Philadelphia Eagles is on the hot seat this year. Right? All right. Got another top. Got a bunch of them. Look at this. All good. Tons of stuff. Plus Battle Royale. We got it going on. All right. So, Mike Vrabel, as we speak, yes, as we speak, Mike Vrabel, Elliott Wolf, Alonzo Highsmith, and the higher-ups in about 2 minutes in Indianapolis are having lunch, an early dinner with Howie Roseman. What do you think it's about? By the way, you know how you can find out? Just call the restaurant. And then listen, I'm late for my party to St. Elmo's. And I'm meeting the Roseman party. Can you tell me? I used to do this all the time. Who's at the restaurant? Oh, and by the way, Jimmy Sexton's there. Anybody know who Jimmy Sexton is? And Tory Dandy? Do you guys know who Tory Dandy? Tory Dandy and Jimmy Sexton from CAA are also at this early dinner. Gee, I wonder why. AJ's age? No way. Twiz. Is that the agents? Tory Dandy and Jimmy Sexton from CAA are at an early dinner at St. Elmo's right now ordering the shrimp cocktail. And by the way, you want to know what they're having? You can look it up on the menu. I'll tell you. $22.99 for the shrimp cocktail. You get 4 of them. I'll tell you what they're having. The porterhouse, not going to believe this. It's $80. $80. Do you know what the lobster mac and cheese is? The lobster mac and cheese is $34. Howie's a mac and cheese guy? Okay. So you're getting the shrimp cocktail. That's $22.95. The porterhouse is $80. 24 ounces, though, by the way. And the lobster mac and cheese. I didn't know Howie was a mac and cheese guy. I got a guy that works at that restaurant. Joe Krause is in the house. He knows I know everyone. And my boy is telling me, yeah, they're here. How do you think I get content? Hey, Carmine, you in here? Guys, Carmine, who's in the building? Brett Veach is here. I know why Brett Veach is there. You know why? I said, let me ask you something. Is Jason Light with him? Yeah. How'd you know? Okay. Is Derek Gilmore there? Let me look down at the reservation. Yeah, Derek Gilmore's here. How'd you know? Derek Gilmore is Mike Evans' agent. And they're talking with Jason Light? And they're talking with who? Brett Veach? Go figure. Wonder who they're talking about. Give me another. Let's see. What was the other one? I got one other guy. Let's see. Okay, who sent me this email? I got my friend there, Carmine. Ask for Carmine. He's a maitre d'. Let's see here. What did Carmine? Let's see. I didn't know how he liked mac and cheese. Okay. Oh my God. Here's a new one too. Carmine just sent this bad puppy in. So I got told this. I said, okay, so is David Cantor there? And David Cantor, hang on, Gabe, I'll get to Drew Rosenhaus. I said, is David Cantor there? He's like, yeah. He's there later on tonight, though. He's not here until later. Probably doing interviews right now or physicals with the guys because they're doing physicals and interviews. And then they start up running, I think, tomorrow. And so David Cantor's there. I said, good. I said, is John Schneider? He's like, yeah, John Schneider's there. I said, interesting. Okay. I said, is Jim Harbaugh there? He's like, yeah. I said, actually, they're having dinner. So Kenny Walker's agent is meeting with Jim Harbaugh? I wonder why. because Kenny Walker is a free agent and the Seahawks aren't going to sign him to the contract he wants? Now, look, this is just kind of dinner. They're not supposed to be talking contracts. They're just meeting. And old pals getting together. Here, I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll do it in front of you so you don't think I'm full of shit. Okay? Let me do it in front of you here. Alonzo. Alonzo Highsmith. Let's send a text to him right now. Hi. Will the Patriots get AJ? Will the Patriots get AJ this offseason? See? Hi, will the Patriots get AJ this offseason? Send. See? Send. Oh, he'll answer me. Mraz. Actually, he's somebody in the world. You, on the other hand, are a box of rocks. So hang on here. Alonzo Highsmith. Just to give you guys context. Right now, currently, Highsmith. What's Alonzo's title? Senior Executive for Personnel for the New England Patriots. Look at that. High right now was hired by the New England Patriots as the executive personnel executive to the team to Elliott Wolf. Shut up. Stop crying. Now, High may be watching. I'm doing interviews right now. %30 what? He won't be a maitre d' after this. Be cleaning bathrooms. Seals, it will be dinner and contract restructuring by candlelight. Hey, listen, all I know is this. They're not supposed to. Let me ask Dan Morgan a question, too. Let's see here. Let me send something to let me send something to Carmine. Who's there at dinner right now? Early dinner. What's it, 2? It's 2:47 in Central Time in Indy, I think. Let's see here. You know, I used to book my shows, like my radio shows like this. Who's in the building? Yeah, you're Goodell is going to get him killed. What do you care? Shrimp cocktail, the horseradish sauce will clear up your sinuses. I promise. By the way, you must have eaten there because it's pretty spicy. It really is. That's exactly what it's like. You are dead on. It's like politicians and lobbyists having dinner. That's what they're doing. I'm going to tell you, he's going to post, he's going to send it back to me when he looks at his phone. We've been friends for 40 years. Highsmith and mine. He is. Yeah, you mean like what? Better than Doug? What? Better than Doug Peterson yesterday? One of my better guests. Who's that? Anybody? Everybody? Right? Anybody? Everybody? Dude, it's a great place. You got to go. I think St. Elmo's has a little stool for Nick's purse. Yeah. No. You got to remember, Nick's going to have an M. Reyes wallet with a zipper on it because he's not shopping. He's not shopping. Mike Vrabel is just talking so highly of AJ, by the way. Love the guy. We have a great relationship. We're texting each other back and forth. Man, there is no doubt whatsoever. We are sitting here and we have an absolute love fest. Working on Kay. She's a really good person. I like Kay Adams. Got great respect for Kay Adams. I really do. Kay Adams really does. So, I went back and I did something a year ago. I told Zander this. So last year, Howie Roseman was asked a question about, remember Big Sills was kind of throwing out, and to M. Reyes' credit, I am one of the very few people that since, 2 years? Senior executive of pro personnel who's at the NFL combines. Huh? Huh? What happened? What happened? What just happened? That's for me, Junior. What happened? That's a possibility. What? Hey, and what? So I just texted a guy who's in Indy, working people out right now, doing interviews, and is with Elliott Wolf. And they want to get AJ up there. AJ's posting pictures with the Patriots. And an executive from the Patriots just texted me back and said that's a possibility that we're getting AJ. What? So yesterday we had Doug Peterson. Now we have an executive confirming that A.J. Brown and the Patriots are talking. This is why, hey, Big Joe, this is why we're here, ain't it? Yeah, you're not getting that kid. That's not happening. Uh-oh, everybody's going a little. Hey, Reyes, what happened? Your boy. Hey, Reyes, you still on that? He ain't going anywhere? You still on that? Right? Do you think? Vrabel, I think Mike Vrabel wants him. I really do. I think Vrabel wants the dude. Okay, I do. Possibility means yes. This bozo would get wrecked in spades. I'm not sure what you're talking about. Okay, it wouldn't be for peanuts. No, I think it's the 1 and the 3. Hey, I would do that move. I would do the 1 and the 3. You get 2 1s. I mean, listen, now I think AJ's got to restructure. Let me ask that. Does AJ have to restructure it to get done? Okay, so I think he's got to restructure. I would do for a 1 and a 3 for AJ. Hey, guys, doesn't this start? Get Milton Williams back. That's a great take. Now, let me ask you this. Doesn't this start the rebuild? That the Eagles may want to rebuild on the fly? Right? Getting rid of AJ, getting more draft picks, retooling the O-line, getting multiple ones. Howie being able to, like, maybe, how about if he did this? He even traded down and maybe even out of the first round at 23 and picked up multiple 2s. And then the following year, you could have 3 first-round picks. Here, you move out. You move out. Yes. So his agent, the agents are there for a reason. They're good. It would have to be a restructure and a signing bonus, they said, and lower the cap hit for the Eagles to be able to absorb it. And that's why it would be the 1 and the 3. 1 and a 3 for Brown. But it's preliminary. And it would be preliminary. So, and again, this is preliminary conversation. I want you to understand that. It's preliminary conversation. Defense is fine. We could sign a wide receiver too. You have a wide receiver too. And that's Devontae. We can't afford to push off another potential Super Bowl year for the sake of impromptu rebuild. Too much can happen that could negate the window. Reyes, would you go here though? Say you don't, you're competitive, and you never know what happens in an NFL season. Say you're competitive, and you're still in the mix as one of the top 5 teams in the NFC. But coming back at 27, 28, and 29, you got multiple picks, and you're rebuilding back on offense, and you're getting better. Here, and listen, let's say this, guys. Don't you think they're going to take a step back anyway with all these new? How don't you think they're going to not take a step back? This wasn't an easy transition last year. What makes you think this is going to be an easy transition this year? Do it. Love AJ, but tired of all the drama. That is probably a little bit of what the Eagles are doing right now as well. They're probably sick and tired of that shit too. By the way, you can't get a reservation at this joint right now. Carmine said it's completely filled. And again, no business, but you can talk about what you might want to do and what your feelings are on a player. It's all about all we can hang our hat on right now until the season starts. Yeah, Faxils, we're taking a step back. I need more for AJ, though. You're not, dude, a 1 and a 3 for a 30-year-old receiver? Will he be 30 by the time the season starts? You think you're going to get more than a 1 and a 3? Dude, that's a lot. That's a lot. And for the pick to be good this year, he has to redo it, or that first round pick. Here, think about this. If it's the Patriots, hey, Bob, this to me makes sense. Pray for the Patriots to have a walk back. Pray they win 8 games, 7 games, and they're near the top 10, okay? They're near the top 10. And say that pick does go next year, and they get Brown. Now, I'm not saying they're going to be that bad, but say it happens. How many times do we see teams in Super Bowl years that had some sort of psychotic year the following year? They're back to being 6 and 7, 8-win type of teams. Think about that. I think he's 29, 28. All right. Think about this. So the Patriots walk back, and you're picking 12th. And say you're picking 20th. You got the 12th and the 20th pick. Shit, you could do whatever you want with those kind of picks. You're right there in the top 10. You go get that kid Jeremiah Smith and put him on the other side of Smitty. And so you're building an offense, and you take that other first-round pick, and you take an O-lineman. So you get a playmaker and an O-lineman in the same first round next year in a deeper draft. I don't know. That sounds pretty smart to me. Plus, you're signing some of your players that you have now. Maybe, by the way, Battle Royale will be with us at 4:30. Hit the like button. We appreciate you. Maybe Howie should see what Miami wants for Waddle. No way. I don't want Waddle. I want to go get that kid next year. I want to get that kid Smith. Imagine Sills gets the Eagles a tampering violation through a steakhouse. I didn't say they were cutting deals. I just asked him an opinion, and he just said it's a possibility. Okay? Hey. I said it's a possibility. It would be more, I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, facts. We are taking a step back, but this guy wants more again for AJ. Let's see here. I would trade Carter for Milton. I wouldn't. Even I can't. Even I can't make that work. I like Milton Williams. I'll tell you what, I'd trade Milton Williams for Jordan Davis. But I wouldn't trade him for Jalen Carter. I wouldn't do that. Okay? I would not. These teams got to stop letting these players get their own way. They're not letting these players get their way. Hey, Deshae, I don't want a guy on my football team. Okay? I don't want a guy on my football team that doesn't want to be here. All right? And I got to hold on. Okay. Couple more guys. Listen, they're open for business on AJ. Thanks for the supers, guys. By the way, Battle Royale at the bottom of the hour. How about AJ for Milton the third? They're not doing that. Sills, I was talking to a friend about Jeremiah Smith and how Howie should get picks to trade up into the top 10 for 2027 to get Smith. I think if he was in this year's draft too, Roofer, I think that guy would be the first pick in the draft. I really do. Somebody asked a question about sleepers. There's a couple guys that I've been looking at. The Keelan Black kid from Indiana, great athleticism. I think that kid, Keon Black, did you guys see that guy play? He kind of would fit what they're doing a little bit and trying to go to a West Coast offense. And did you see him in the national championship game? He's pretty good. Played also in the Big Ten championship game. He's a pretty good player. Can catch the ball out of the backfield. I think he's kind of a sleeper guy. And I think the Eagles are going to need another back. I think he blocks well in pass protection. That'll be a key if you're going to go to this new offense. I'm starting, people are talking about this being a potentially pretty deep tight end draft. Somebody brought to the attention, there's two guys. Eli Stowers of Vanderbilt, top athlete, 39 vertical, 11.3 like broad jump. He's an enormous target too. Can block, can catch, and he's an athlete. That kid Marlon Klein, tight end from Michigan, he runs a 4.25. And he ran a 4.25 short shuttle. And he's one of the fastest guys on the three cones. He's another guy that you could keep an eye on. So he's another one. A lot of checkdowns with this new offense. Yes, I agree. I think it's going to be. Sales 31 this year might be a 12 to 18 next year. AFC's weak, so the drop might not get to the top 10. Yeah, but if you had two, Bob, you can move up with one. Now, here, this is why I might move out and do this. Bob, trade AJ. Follow me here. Trade AJ for the 1 and the 3. And if you don't get the restructure, okay, and you don't get the restructure, you got to carry it to April. So that's 27, right? Take that 2026 draft at 23. The Eagles are at, right? Trade out of the first round and get a first rounder next year. Trade it with a team that needs a lot of help, the Browns. And you trade that pick with the team, Tennessee, whomever, and you trade with them, that 23rd pick might turn into being a top 10 pick. You might have the 10th and 15th pick going into next year's draft. In a year, you're probably going to need. And remember something, too. Guys, you don't have a lot of money to spend. You don't really have a lot of latitude and leeway to make maneuvers because of the money. So you give yourself high draft picks the following season, and you give yourself a lot of latitude to be able to make first-round moves the following year when potentially you're going to really need to do some replacing, especially if it's in the offensive line. And if you look at Devontae and Devontae Smith doesn't turn out to be what you want, sitting there at 1, you go get the kid and you move up and you get the guy, Jeremiah Smith. That's how I would do it. Yeah, and you know what? They see Barkley. They see Barkley in this. See, my thing with Jeremiah Love, I heard John McMullen say he's the best player in the draft. Every time I saw him against quality opponents, he got stuffed. I never saw him against a quality opponent go for like really great yards. Here, let me give it to you here. Jeremiah Love. And to me, I think it is about competition. if you can't gain yards versus top quality football teams, how are you going to gain yards like when you have to like here, see all, here we go. So against Miami, he had 33 yards rushing. Against Texas A&M, he had 94. That's better. Purdue stunk. They had 157. He didn't play a lot in that Arkansas game because Arkansas was terrible. And what was his yards of carry? Yeah. And in that Arkansas game, he had 70 yards receptions for 2 TDs. Arkansas was okay. Boise State stunk. He had 103. NC State wasn't bad. He had 88 yards. SC was his best game. He had 228 in the ball game. Had 37 receiving yards. Okay. Boston College, 136. Navy, 94. Pitt, good game, 147. Syracuse, 171. They were terrible. And Stanford, he had 66. 200 carries for 1372. 6'9" a carry. College, okay, 18 TDs. Not awful. But that's schedule. The two teams here in 2 games against 2 quality teams that made the playoffs. He had 123 yards, 127 yards in 2 games on 33 carries versus Miami and A&M. I don't know. I don't know. My problem would be that kid's blocking. It would be the blocking. Michigan has been developing good tight ends lately. They really have. Now, you got to remember too, Real. The reason that is because what's the one position that Harbaugh harped on and recruited exceptionally there at Michigan? It really wasn't the wide receiver position. It was more of a power game kind of position. I'll tell you what, that kid turned out to be a sensational football player. He turned out to be a fabulous football player. Okay? Fabulous player. And I didn't think much of him. I thought the kid Tyler Warren from Penn State was better. And yeah, no, I thought for sure he was better. Absolutely. They are turning out some pretty good tight ends. Okay? But still, he's got to grow up, and he's playing a dependent position. Steel's 31 this year. Yeah, Bob, that's what we just said to you. I think they do this, man. I think you're going to load up for 27. And I think they're going to load up more for that angle and for 27. I really do. And they're not going to trade back for Milton Williams. That's not going to happen. AJ and Nolan in a package deal. Who we get back? I don't hate that. AJ and Nolan. An elite player and a former first rounder who's a good player. You're not getting Gonzalez with that. They're not trading Gonzalez. He's not trading a defensive player for that. But draft pick wise, you might get a 1, 3, 4, and a 7 if you put that package together. You could get like Nolan could bring a 4 and a 7, or maybe even a 3 and a 7. The key is the fact that free agency is just not that good this year. Okay, they're just not that good. There's really not here. I got the list right here. Let me bring the list up here. On free agents for the NFL. Here. Pickens is the number one free agent. Here's why AJ. Here's what's being said about Nakobe. Whether or not they can actually do it, keeping Nakobe Dean makes a world of sense for Philadelphia. This is Bledsoe. Dean only recently turned 25 and has shown tremendous blitzing ability, especially as he emerged as a full-time player over the past 2 seasons alongside of Zach Vaughn. But he's also dealt with significant injury issues, which might keep his costs from becoming prohibitively high for the Eagles, who love their former Georgia defenders. There's no question one of the big issues at the combines is what the Eagles are also going to do with Nakobe. And that's another conversation. AJ is an enormous conversation. By the way, supposedly these conversations are picking up big time now. Now, again, you can't really do anything. All you could do is lay the groundwork for conversations. So I want to make that clear. So the top guys right now are Tyler Linderbaum. He's the best offensive lineman in the group, and it's not close. The Ravens would be stupid to let him walk. He's 26 years old. Man, if the Eagles could ever get away from that contract with Cam Jurgens, God, he'd be ideal in that offensive line. Saquon would benefit, but there's just too much money that's tied up with Cam. Can you imagine this too? If they had waited a year, Howie had waited a season and didn't sign him to that extension, and I know they had to because he was a second-round pick out of Nebraska, you could have dumped this guy and brought him in for 20-something million. Totally brought him in. Trey Hendrickson, I just don't see it. He's ranked number 2. The 2 receivers that are 3 and 4 are Alec Pierce from the Colts. He's a big play threat and has been added a lot of layers to his game. He is also more now than a one-trick pony. Teams in need of speed could attack him early on the market. He's only 25. What kind of year did he have a year ago? Now, it was up and down a year ago. He had 1,000 yards and 6 touchdowns. How about this? In 2025, this guy averaged 21.3 yards a play catch with 47 catches. And he had only 47 catches. In 15 games. 2024, he had 824. Year before that, he had 514. This kid's an underrated player. That's a pretty good player, man. 47 catches. This guy averaged 21 yards a catch. That's a ton. Wow. Hey, Battle Royale at the bottom. The guys will join us at the bottom of the hour. Mark Holmes and also Philly 500. A lot to get over with these guys. Jalen Watson, he's a corner. 27 years old, will be a target of a lot of teams looking for corner help. He's coming off his best season with the Chiefs. His first as a full-time starter. His best football is ahead of him. Eagles aren't paying that kind of money for that guy. That guy's a $20 million guy. Jalen Phillips is ranked number 6th on the Bledsoe free agency. And he came off injury last season and had a good season for both Miami and the Eagles after he was traded to Philly. He's 27, so his market should be good. Played well for the Eagles. Who said that over here? I'm with you. I'm not doing any of that. I'm not doing any of that. I'm not paying that guy $20 million. I don't think he's a $20 million. John loves the player. Listen, I love the player. I know the player. I know him very well. Okay, I know him very well, but I'm not paying him that. I think you could get Bradley Chubb for a cheaper rate and get Bradley Chubb and get the same dude for $14 or $13 million. Kyle Pitts, it's confirmed he will be franchise tagged, which is 16-7. So the Falcons are franchise tagging. By the way, George Pickens is going to be franchise tagged by the Cowboys. We'll talk to Mark Holmes in a bit here. And he's going to make 28-7 on that franchise tag. So Breece Hall, supposedly they're talking now that potentially he could be franchise tagged too as well. So he's a 24-year-old, is a good back who can run and also is a real threat in the passing game. But the market for backs is always a tricky one. He showed last season on a bad offense on things that he could do. I agree. By the way, Daniel Jones is on this list. I think they're talking about a 3-year contract and paying him nearly $45 million. So he's not going to be on the free agent market. I don't believe Daniel Jones makes it to March 11th. Here's Kenny Walker. I do not believe Seattle signing him. Seattle has made it very clear. By the way, I think he's overrated. He had one good game. He's a 1,000-yard rusher. His agent is now, because he's a Super Bowl. Here's again the Super Bowl MVP. He's overrated. Here, let me give you the context of the numbers here. Okay, here's the context of the numbers and why I say that. Kenny Walker. This is the reigning Super Bowl MVP. 1,050 his rookie year, 9 TDs, 900 yards and 23 on 8. 2024, he had 573, got hurt, missed 6 games. And this last year, he had 1,027. And his yards per carry are good, 4.3 as a career. And he had 1,027. I'm not paying a guy like that $15 million because he won the Super Bowl MVP. As a matter of fact, I'm with you. I think Charbonneau's better. I do. I think Charbonneau's a better player. It'll be cheaper to get a 2 cornerback in the draft and yes, and they're going to do that. They're not. Here's a guy that I would suggest that I think would be a good option. Yeah, I'm not signing that guy to that kind of money. Absolutely not. Now, I love Jamel Dean, the guy from the Bucs. Now, he could be a pricey guy, but at 29, he made some splash plays last year, but I don't think he's as good as his reputation. This is Bledsoe. The Bucs are likely to move on, but some team will pay him based on big plays, such as the 3 picks he had this past season. I like him. Yeah, I saw somebody in here with Tariq Woolen. after a great start to his career, he hasn't been as good in the past 2 seasons, but he is a long corner with a lot of potential who is only 26. There are flashes that will attract a lot of teams. I just don't believe. See these names here? These names are big names. I just don't think that you're going to get that kind of rush by Howie. I don't believe Howie's going to be in that conversation to do that. Walker is a good 2. Yeah, I mean, he's going to get a lot of money because of that MVP. But I don't think he's as good as people think he is. I just don't. Here's Dean. Dean's ranked 34th in free agency. You know, I got to tell you, the more and more I think about Dean, the more and more I'm thinking that Dean's going to be a Cowboy if he's not an Eagle. I really do believe that. I think Dean's got a chance to be a Philadelphia Eagle. And the question that I'm going to, when Mark Holmes comes in, my question is for him is going to be, how much of a player are they going to be in free agency? Because here, Pickens, figure this out here with what they're going to do with Pickens. Pickens is going to be 28.7. So that's $28.7 million on a tag. They just gave their running back a huge deal this past weekend, right? Look at how much money they're spending on 3 guys. You got 4 guys. You got 28.7 that this coming season for the Cowboys. You got, what is it, 34 for CD? You got 60 for the quarterback. And that new deal that you have for the running back, you're talking in excess of $130 million of your what's projected to be $300+ million salary cap. Okay? Cowboys need to have some help on their edge. They need linebackers. This is where Nakobe comes in. And also, they're going to need, in my opinion, a revamping of that secondary. Hey, one of the reasons why you get Christian Parker in there is because I think that, hey, what's the one area of the Dallas Cowboys that they've addressed in the last 11 months? They've addressed their D-tackle position. What's the one area the Cowboys haven't addressed in the last 3 years? It's been their corner and secondary. And so the corner and secondary, this makes sense on why you hire Christian Parker. You bring an expert in so that the expert can come in and help the secondary. Now, do I think the Cowboys go out? And here, this is according to Bledsoe. This is some of the people that this is like a scouting service. Do the Cowboys go out and get Jalen Watson and spend that kind of money on Jalen Watson? Do they look at a guy like that? Because look, here's the one issue that I've had conversations with Mark Holmes over. Jerry will get really good players into the Cowboys. You know what happens? Jerry sees his shiny car, and when he puts it out on the market, Jerry looks at his shiny car, and everybody in the market goes, I'll give you $10 for it. And Jerry goes, no, I want 30 for it. And you're like, well, it ain't 30. It's 10. It's a good car. I like it, but you're overvaluing your property here. You're overvaluing your player here. And he overvalues him because he values his opinion more than the player he picks. Think about what I just said. The reason that Jerry does that mistake every single year, he values his opinion on football more than the player's value. That's why he overhypes the players that he gets on his team. Do you understand what I'm saying? Jerry doesn't think he's wrong. So when Jerry makes a pick, Jerry's like, yeah, that's my guy. This is what I think of him. This is what I believe in this guy. And yet other people around the league and talent evaluators will go, hey, the guy's a good ball player. Like the Jalen Smith stuff and all that, right? You were like, dude, the guy was hurt at Notre Dame. And the guy was a good football player, but dude, I mean, then remember that money he gave him? You're like, where did that come from? The guy had a nice year, but Jerry overpays him. You know what that does? You think if you overpay somebody, what you do is you overpay them, you up their value in the marketplace. That's not how teams do it. Teams look at a guy and go, what can I get for that dude right now? All right. So let me put this out there to you guys. So as I'm speaking right now, Howie Roseman, and by the way, I'm going to show everybody here, and I want to make sure Philly 500 sees this too. I can't show the number again, but see Alonzo Highsmith? Alonzo Highsmith is the director of pro personnel for the New England Patriots. And some of you saw it earlier. I asked the question, hi, will the Patriots get AJ this offseason? And he said, that's a possibility. I'm sure of it. So they're open for business. And right now, reservations are made at St. Elmo's in Indianapolis for Jimmy Sexton and Tory Dandy to talk whatever. Maybe it's about the shrimps and the shrimp cocktails. They're in Indy. Without further ado, this may be a very interesting battle royale because I got some questions because we had Doug Peterson on yesterday. And he made some interesting observations about the Philadelphia Eagles. Without further ado, one of the top content creators for the Dallas Cowboys, our friend, Mark Holmes, and look at that smile on his face. And without further ado, my friend, who thinks I set him up all the time now, Philly 500 joins us right now here.
Look at it. I got a bob and weave with you, Sills. I got a bob and weave with you. Come on.
He thinks I throw you softballs. And
I said it one time. One time I said it. And you ripped it out of you. I was just sitting there laughing. I said it one
it's
time.
nice to see Philly 500 here smiling because last couple of weeks he's been looking kind of down.
Nah, I've not been down.
Are you down? Are you a little upset?
No. Mark is making his bullshit videos and bullshit stuff.
Oh.
It's all full of shit. You know, every day, like Howie could come out and go like, I had a great conversation with AJ Brown, and Mark will turn it into Howie Roseman didn't sign AJ Brown, didn't reduce contract. There's no commitment. Things are collapsing in Philly.
Wait a
It's
minute.
chaos.
Hold on.
Come on, dude. Get over it.
Sirianni stopped short of guaranteeing that he'd be back.
He did.
Well, Nick Sirianni has no say. Nick Sirianni don't even know he's going to be back. I mean, come on. I mean, well, yeah, but Nick Sirianni has no say in anything. Philly,
what has changed is I went back and looked at that conversation a year ago because that was one of the guys, the fire starters that were throwing that out that maybe you should start to think about trading A.J. Brown eventually. And all of a sudden, that was completely taken off the table. Now there's like open for business signs out there.
Well, yeah, but still, I don't think it's a surprise to anybody that the Eagles are open to the possibility. But that to me, there's still a big difference between that being possible and it happening. I still think that the odds are stacked against it happening.
Okay. Hey, so how do you feel about that there, Mark? Do you think – I don't believe AJ's back. I just don't.
I'm on the fence on this, whether I want him to come back or don't want him to come back, because I see it as a no-win situation for him because you need him. You need him on that offense. You know, everybody who's out here saying, oh, just get rid of George Pickens, that Ryan Fenoy will be great as a number two, that's bullshit. The reality is George Pickens, CeeDee Lamb makes Ryan Fenoy a lot better. And that's the case with A.J. Brown. Contrary to him, having his fits and all that, he's a threat that you got to cover. And that makes Devontae Smith that much better. If you end up losing him, it's not easy as you think to get a receiver. I don't know if you remember, some of those great receivers you drafted, like Whiteside and Rhaegar and Nelson Aguilar and things. It's hard getting
you're preaching to the choir. I'm the one out there saying you do not trade him. I'm the one out there saying got to keep the guy. I've defended A.J. Brown to the end of earth for 2 years because I understand what it's like to have the umbrella man. I remember what it's like to have those guys. I don't want to lose A.J. Brown, nor do I think they will.
But what if he becomes T.O. 2.0?
No. First of all, AJ's not going to become 2.0. And let me tell you, I think
he's been a distraction, though, right?
Well, I think the whole thing's been a distraction, but and I think he needs to learn how to handle his frustrations better. I think that it affected him in the playoff game. I mean, I think there are a lot of issues where he's got to be better with. I also think a lot of it was blown way out of proportion because I think what A.J. Brown did was took arrows for those players on offense when he spoke up. He spoke up for that team, and everybody acted like he was being selfish or prima donna. He was the guy that stood up for Devontae Smith, for the offensive line, for a lot of those players on that offense that wanted to say something about them not liking the way that things were going. And I really believe that. So I think it's a bit overhyped, but I also think that AJ has caused self-inflicted wounds that he's got to learn from. But I don't think it's a TO situation, and I don't think he has to go or else.
Mark, how are you as a Cowboy fan watching the Eagles unraveling in front of you this offseason here?
Unraveling? What?
You know what? If I don't know if any of you guys are a Star Trek fan, but they had this,
I am.
Mirror.
Okay.
I feel like
NC 1701, bitch. I know. I got you there. I'm ready to rock.
Mirror was like they went to the alternate universe where there was like evil Spock with the goatee and everything. I feel like I'm in an alternate universe where the Cowboys are actually making football decisions in the offseason and trying to stay out of the drama. And here it is, the Eagles have become the Dallas Cowboys drama queens.
Mark is not. You're not only in an alternate universe, you're in a universe all by yourself because that's just not the case. Okay. None of it is the case.
Really?
All right. Yeah.
Wait a minute. Now, Billy, let me ask you about Jeff Stoutland here then. So, Jeff Stoutland, I think it's very interesting that we're finding a little bit more out about Jeff Stoutland. I talked to Doug Peterson yesterday, and he said this. He goes, if you replace a guy like Jeff Stoutland, you better have a dude that knows what he's doing. When you have quality guys like that, not just a guy that you're just picking off the scrap pile and replacing a guy with like that. And the word is this, Philly, you tell me, and this is people inside the building that have told people that Nick Sirianni stuck his head into the run game, and Jeff Stoutland got insulted by that because he's been one of the more successful offensive line coaches. And Nick got involved, and the run game, I don't really think got better. You played the Raiders and you played the Redskins at the end of the year. I mean, come on here. You didn't get better. You were kind of the same. I mean, so did Jeff Stoutland get pushed out by Nick?
Yeah. I mean, if you ask me the one thing
I don't that drama?
Yeah, I mean, it was drama. It's not drama anymore. He's not on the team, but it was more drama last year. But I don't like what happened with Stoutland. I definitely don't. But at the end of the day, I mean, the coach did what he did, and he's gone. I mean, I would never think that you would lose Stoutland. I don't get it. I think Stoutland's taking the year off because he knows if Nick leaves or gets fired, he's going to come back to his old job. But I mean, yeah, I don't like what happened to Stoutland, but that it is where he's gone now. So what's the chaos? What's the problem? He's gone. We got to get over it. Move on.
Mark,
I don't know.
what? Okay, Cowboys offseason will be what?
I'm going to say actually less drama than usual. Everybody took that the Cowboys offered Brandon Aubrey $7.5 million, and people are saying he turned it down and so on. Although his wife just tweeted out that's not true. The Cowboys typically will put out that we put out this big number, but you don't know the details of a contract. You could say I'm going to pay Mark Holmes $7.5 million and $1 guaranteed, and it's not a real contract.
Right.
But the fact that they're actually talking and trying to get this together to me is great. And the same thing, I don't believe they're going to go in with George Pickens staying on the franchise tag. And I got to say, I got a bone to pick with you with your numbers. Because, you said that we paid Javonte Williams. His cap number is $3.8 million for this year.
It's great.
Okay, it's 8.5 next year. So, and they have out after 2 years. It's a great contract for us.
They must have given him a decent signing bonus then.
Well, $16 million is guaranteed. And
yeah, that's good.
You look at that and say the production that you got from him, he's a top 10 running back. That's a great value contract. And even if they end up paying $8.5 or $9 million for Brandon Aubrey, it's a freaking kicker. Who cares? But the thing is,
he's not just a kicker, Mark.
Oh no, he's okay. But
Mark,
he's the greatest kicker ever to play.
I'll tell you what, though, Philly.
4 kicks over 60 yards. Nobody.
I'll tell you what, though, Philly. I'll tell you what.
Let's see who he kicks in December.
I'll take him any day there, Philly.
But Philly, get this: you only have to get to the 40-yard line, and that guy's got a shot.
That's true.
Okay,
that's true.
That's a pretty
true.
piece of weapon.
The 50-yard line, okay.
Right? I mean, you get me to the 45 or 50
yard
line.
There's no question. He's the best player on their team. There's no argument there.
So at the very moment, if you go through what we have right now, we're $55 million over the cap, and that's before the $21 million rollover. That's before about the 25 that's going to be coming as the cap goes up. With Dak, you can flip the trigger. His number goes down to 41. You get $31 million. CD, you can flip the trigger, get his contract down to $19 million and get another 19 from him. You can go down the line, and if you want to, you can get over $131 million in restructuring. And I'm not saying go restructure everybody, but really the thing that they should be looking at is they're better off getting Pickens on a long-term deal. CD Lamb's deal, $8.5 million the first year, 13.5 the second year. So you'd actually get more space to be able to go out there in free agency.
See, this is where the Eagles are better than dealing with contracts because they do all this shit up front.
Right.
They do this shit at the consummation, Philly, right? At the beginning of the deals. So where Howie gets in trouble a little bit is those void years where they have to restructure certain guys. But where the Eagles get away with it, Mark, is they give more signing bonus money to lower the number on the back end of contracts, where the Cowboys let those things balloon up and you got to exit players.
They also eat more dead money, I think, than anybody.
That's right.
Here's
a lot of dead money.
Here's the problem with it is like when you take somebody like Landon Dickerson, you ended up signing him early on his contract and stuff and giving him all the money right then and there. If they end up retiring, if they end up being a bust, then you're getting that big dead money hit down the road. At least with the Cowboys, you look at somebody like Deron Bland that just got his contract last year and now he's got foot issues. You're not putting all that money down the road. You're at least taking that bite now. If it looks like they're going to be a player that's going to be there for a couple of years, you can flip the trigger because we know we're going to be able to work it out over the long haul.
How about you, Philly?
To me, that doesn't matter. If the team's willing to pay the dead money, who gives a shit?
You restructure and void. That's what I would do.
Right.
For you, Philly, what about AJ? I mean, you trade him. Say there is, like even Howie said, listen, we're listening. That doesn't mean I'm with you. That doesn't mean they're just going to go, hey, here's a bag of Skittles, and you can have the player here. Would you take this deal from New England? Say you have to carry that number, and obviously I think AJ would have to restructure if you want to make that number work for the draft this year. But say he doesn't, and that carries over. Follow me here on this. You take a 1 in 2027's draft, and you take a 3 this year here. So the following season, let's say that New England takes a step backwards, and they end up winning 8 or 9 games. They take a step back. That thing could be the 12th or 13th pick in the draft, and you would have your pick. You would have 2 first-round picks. Would you be open to taking something like that?
I would, yeah, because I've actually talked about this. I said that if I'm trading AJ, I probably say give me a 27 first-round pick, and then load up on first, and then take Jeremiah Smith. That's my plan that I want to do. If I have to trade him, because if you're going to trade AJ, and this is a lot like the Carson Wentz situation, like you have to get good compensation. Otherwise, what you're paying in dead money, what you're going to get killed in salary cap, all that, is going to cost the Eagles. So they got to get compensation for it. This is why I don't think AJ will get traded in the end, because they're not going to. Who's going to give you a first round pick for a 29-year-old receiver? I don't think you'll get it. So I don't think he'll go because of that. And if I could get a 2027 first, I'd rather have that than a 2026.
The 31st pick is like a second rounder.
Well, a 2027 first round pick, we don't know where they're picking.
That's right. That's right.
Right?
That's right.
And I'm willing to bet that New England takes a step back next year.
I think so. I think so too. Hey, Mark, your draft strategy for the upcoming draft in a couple weeks. The Cowboy draft strategy would be what?
Well, from what they've been meeting with thus far at the Combine, we've got Texas A&M Scooby Williams. We've got Missouri linebacker Trotter. We got Oklahoma linebacker Kenneth Daniels. We got Georgia linebacker Allen. So they're going heavy on the defense for sure. Everybody's talked about the Cowboys making the trades and everything else for the first pick, and even Stephen Jones talking about they potentially could. I think that they're going to look to hold on to those and sign a few free agents, not necessarily top tier ones, but average to above average free agents, and trying.
You think you're closing the gap on the Eagles?
Yeah, I think. Yeah. Okay, now see, you laugh, Philly. He didn't say passing the Eagles.
I know.
The gap. There's no way you can look at the Philadelphia Eagles from where they were last year at this time, when you looked like the 95 Dallas Cowboys, to the broke down team that you are right now, with Saquon taking a step back, losing key coaches, and possibly losing some more key personnel. The Kobe Dean, Reed Blankenship, maybe A.J. Brown. You can't look and say that you are a better team today than you were last year. I can look and say potentially we do look better than we did, which means we are getting closer to the Eagles. Whether we can.
What did you do so far that's so great?
So far, well, the fact that we got 2 first-round picks, the fact that we were able to bring back our running back, which is key on a team-friendly deal, the fact that we're going to end up bringing back George Pickens on an offense that was really good, the fact that we've gone through and we've upgraded our coaching staff. Have you upgraded your coaching staff? Do you feel?
Yes, I think we did. I actually do. I think Patullo's
everything's always perfect.
You think you upgraded your offensive coaching staff?
You think Kevin Patullo in that offense was great? I mean, what were you talking about? That was the worst offense I've ever seen. They invented the prevent offense, and you're going to tell me it can't be better?
Mark, here's
what are you talking about?
Okay, I'll show you what I'm talking about. Mark, here's the new coaching staff for the offense for the Eagles. 0 experience for the offensive coordinator. They got 1 year for the passing game coordinator for Josh Grizzard. They've got 0 experience for the quarterback coach, that kid Parks. They've got the run game coordinator guy, Mahaffey. He's never done it. Look at all the years they have on.
Now do Dallas. Now do Dallas's defensive coaches.
Oh, but we got nowhere to go but up.
See, here's the thing. Mark is sitting there going, well, we're closing the gap. You have done nothing to get better. You have done nothing. You had Pickens last year. You had that same running back last year. Nobody has done anything at this point to get better. You have the same guys you had last year. So far, we do too. Let's see what free agency happens. Let's see what happens in the draft. Then we'll know. Right now, you're not close to cap.
Wait.
You're just as far as you were.
Mark, he's right in a way. Here,
do you
understand this?
Yes.
In the last 4 years, you've had 4 different defensive coordinators.
I agree. And maybe and I look at when Dan Quinn came in versus over can't think of his name.
Mike Nolan.
Mike Nolan. You know, he turned that defense around pretty quickly there. And the Cowboys, for once, are actually looking to try and upgrade the defense. Now, I'm not going to guarantee that it's going to work, but I can say that they've at least got potentially guys that understand a modern offense and a modern defense. Okay, we got young guys that are hungry. Okay, you can't say that Christian Parker is not a guy who's looking to become a head coach. That guy is not going to come here to be a little bitch for Jerry Jones.
I completely agree here. I mean, Philly thinks everything. Wait a minute, Philly thinks everything.
Of course you do.
Philly thinks everything in Eagleville is like fucking full pathetic here.
Listen. I'm not saying everything is perfect, but what I'm saying is you can't tell me Dallas has closed the gap in February before the free agency has even taken place. They haven't acquired any players that make that defense better. They've had Pickens on their team. They already had the running back on their team, and their defensive coordinator, I like him, has just as much experience as our offensive coordinator. So how can we praise Dallas about doing all this stuff when the Eagles haven't done anything yet?
Whoa.
Come on.
Your guy had 1 year being a quarterback coach, didn't he? With Jordan Love, a middle of the road offense.
Actually, he's only been a coach for 24 months.
Okay.
Yeah, so what? What does that mean?
Say that what Christian Parker has had working with your guy,
Christian Parker has never been a defensive coordinator.
Really?
Wait a second. How can you possibly be giving Christian Parker? How can you be saying that he is, as a defensive coordinator, more successful than the Eagles' offensive coordinator when neither of them have done it yet? That's all I'm saying. We are in a holding pattern right now.
More experience. Okay. My guy worked with number one defense last year. Yes or no? Yes or no?
Did he work with a number one defense? A very good defense. I don't know if they were ranked number one.
They were like ninth the year before.
Your guy, where was Jordan Love in their offense this past year? With his,
I don't know where they were.
They were middle of the road. I think they were 14th.
Yeah, they were 15th.
Okay.
What
does that mean? What does that absolutely mean?
Philly, as long as
what does that mean? Let me tell you, Christian Parker, he got to coach a lot more talent in Philly than he's got in Dallas.
I'm happy.
All I'm saying is this guy is sitting there giving his team credit for shit they didn't even do yet. And all I'm saying is we're in a holding pattern. And then he acts like I'm nuts because I'm saying, all right, you haven't gotten better yet. You've got a coach that's inexperienced just like ours. I'm not saying the Eagles got way better than Dallas this offseason. I'm saying we're in a holding pattern. Nothing's happened. So how come we're giving Dallas all this credit for nothing when nothing's happened yet?
So do you think you got better getting rid of Stoutland and hiring Chris Cooper?
No, I don't think so. But I don't necessarily think that we've gotten worse because of it. Because at the end of the day, it's about who they got on their offense and what they do in the draft and what they do in free agency. You're going to sit there and tell me that the Dallas Cowboys have done all this stuff and they've closed the gap. We haven't even entered free agency yet. We haven't even entered it. How could they have closed the gap?
Great question.
All I'm saying.
Great question. Mark, are you going to be – because Howie Roseman just got through, and I'll ask Philly this in a minute, but it doesn't seem that Howie's going to be some sort of big-time spender. He may not be Temu shopping, but he may be dollar store shopping. Are you guys going to shop at Neiman Marcus? Are you going to go out and spend money?
Well, here's what I'll say. Jerry Jones always pulls shit out of his ass. We're going all in and then does absolutely nothing. The one thing I will say is your boy Stephen Jones, you may not like the things that he says, but he doesn't lie. And he says they are actually going to go out and they're looking to really upgrade this defense by whatever means possible. If that means, we see a great situation of trading that first round pick or other picks to upgrade, they're willing to do that. They're saying that they're going to. Now, I don't know that they're going to look to get the very top, but see, the thing is look at the Seattle Seahawks. Nobody on that defense had more than 7 sacks in that defense. For everybody that says go out and get Max Crosby, it's not about just one guy. You have to be good across the board. And that's where their problems are. We got problems at linebacker, safety, cornerback, and edge rushing. So you can't get one guy and think it's going to fix him. You've got to go all of the above.
Do you believe you're in a rebuild right now, Philly?
No. A rebuild?
Okay, well, here, let me ask you then. All right, how many years do you think Jordan Mailata has on your football team? Next 5 years?
4 or 5 years, I'm sure, at a high level.
Okay,
I think.
How many years do you think Landon Dickerson has?
It's health related. I don't know. I think the great two questions of this team are Landon and Cam Jurgens.
Okay,
that we don't know.
Okay, so Landon and Cam, we're unsure of that they'll be on the team in the next 3 years due to health, right?
Right.
Lane's, you believe this is Lane's final season?
No, I think he's got 2 more years.
You think he comes back and plays one more?
I do.
Okay. Fair enough. So within the next 2 to 3 years, that entire group is settled Mailata. And if you draft a guy in the first round, Steen's out. They'll probably put that kid in the right guard position. So 4 of your 5 guys potentially in the next 2 to 3 years could be off your football team. You're not in the middle of the beginning of a rebuild?
Well, no. Rebuild going into next year? No. 2-3 years down the road, they're going to have to retool the offense. I look at a rebuild as a major, changing of a team.
Oh, so you think it happens 1 year, not over a period of 3 years of rebuild?
Well, I think that they start to deal with things 2-3 years down the road, like in the draft. But I don't think. Yeah, I think this year, 2 of the first 3 picks are going to be offensive linemen. Okay. So I mean, I look at it more of a retool. To me, do it the other way. I would be like that's a bigger project.
Okay, so to what Philly just said, Mark, how much pressure is on you guys to land on them? I mean, your draft picks here. You got 2 draft picks. And you're crowing about the draft picks. You got to get them right.
Well, here's the thing I will say about the Cowboys. You can point out Mozzie Smith and you can point out Taco Charlton, but the Cowboys have hit on first-round picks more than anybody else in the last 15 years. I mean, you start thinking about guys like Tyler Booker, Tyler Smith, Tyron Smith, Travis Frederick, Zach Martin, Micah Parsons, CeeDee Lamb. First-round picks have never been our problem. It's always been the other ones, the second and the third rounds, that we usually aren't real good at. But there is a lot of pressure. We have to get out-of-the-box guys that can play right now that make an impact.
Your draft, Philly, I mean, you're saying OT at 23.
Well, no, not necessarily OT. I'm thinking a guard or center. Yeah. Maybe a tight end too, that also I put up there.
Does AJ change that mentality though?
Yeah.
If he is dealt, and when March 11th comes, he's dealt.
Yes, I think the 2 factors for the Eagles and how they're going to approach the draft and free agency is AJ Brown and Jalen Phillips. Those 2 decisions will decide how the Eagles operate this offseason, in my opinion.
Couple last ones for you guys. Mark, I have a question for you. How many times has the Cowboys, if any, how many times has the Cowboys changed the offensive approach for Dak Prescott, offensive-wise? Have they really deviated that much, or have they kept the offense pretty much to his skill set in what he does? And Doug Peterson said this yesterday on my program. He said this: you got to build the offense through the eyes of the quarterback. Mm-hmm. Do you think in the last 10 years that the Cowboys have built that offense through the eyes of the quarterback?
I think they definitely have. That was the reason why Shotty got hired, was to continue the continuity of what they had with them. If you look at how the Cowboys were originally built with Dak Prescott, it was really Zeke leading the offense and things. And then, of course, the passing game would be played off of the run. The way it's kind of become now is the running game is actually predicated off the pass. And with Dak Prescott, I know Philly 500 says he's a choker, he sucks or anything else. That guy is a really good quarterback, and he is good at getting guys that are open. Getting the guys that are open the football.
Nobody, nobody said he was a bad. I've never said he's a bad quarterback.
No, you haven't. And I'll ask you the same question. With all these new coaches that the Eagles have brought in, do you believe they're building the offense through the eyes of the quarterback, or do you believe they're building it through the eyes of the head coach?
Oh, God, I hope they're not building it through the eyes of the head coach. I don't know. I mean, I think it's yet to be determined. I don't know enough about the offensive coordinator to sit there and tell you exactly. But I would think that they're trying to build it around the quarterback and the tools that you have on offense as well. But I mean, I think it's yet to be determined. I think that's one area in which I don't think they've done a great job. I think he's got how many different offensive coordinators, right? Things like that. I think they really put him in handcuffs last year with the prevent offense. So we'll see.
Are you more concerned about Nick this year or the offensive coordinator this year?
Nick is my number one concern about everything.
You think he survived the year after this 2026 year?
I think if the offense struggles, I think he's gone. I think with losing Stoutland, with going young with the offensive coordinator, I think Nick is risky, and I give him credit. At least he's willing to take a chance. But
he's swinging.
I think he is, and it's going to be either a strikeout or it's going to be a home run. I don't think there's in between with this team. The one thing we see with this team, there's no in between. So we'll see. I give Nick credit for taking a chance. I like that he went and got a young guy who's considered, around the league to have a good mind, a lot of upside as a coach. I'm okay with that.
Mark, what would be a successful season for the Dallas Cowboys this year?
I think with the Micah Parsons trade, that the Cowboys have to minimum make the playoffs. That is, if you don't, then Jerry Jones looks like a jackass. But
wait, what did he say?
I said they at minimum make the playoffs at minimum. Okay, you've got to keep going in the right direction. But I think that they actually need to go deep in the playoffs. If they go out now, then I will predicate this on if they go out and legitimately try and fix the defense, then they've got to go deep in the playoffs.
Mark, I'll make one for you before Philly comments. I think you got to win the East. I think if you've got to win the East, in my opinion, for it to be a successful season, because if you're going to spend $28.7 million on a franchise tag on Pickens, and you're going to spend 35 on CD, you're going to spend 60 on the quarterback. The brand new
structure all those, buddy. You're not going to spend that.
You got 4 players. You got the majority of your money in 4 players, and the defensive tackle on the other side. You got to win the East, dude.
Yeah, yeah. I see where you're saying with that. Again, if the Cowboys do go all in and bust the bank, yeah, you have to.
You, Philly, what do you think a successful season will be this year for the Philadelphia Eagles?
Super Bowl.
You think this is a Super Bowl team?
I want to win a Super Bowl. I don't. What do you mean? I'm not playing for.
I got this team winning 7 games this year. Right
now. Well, you had a boy winning 5 last year, and then probably
that was Angelo.
For the 5 little years.
No, I said this last year that they'd win 11.
You had the Washington winning division.
No. Listen, I had them winning 11 games, and I was nails on it.
Listen, if you think the Eagles, from a talent perspective, and I see people in the comments saying, stop blaming Nick Sirianni. No, I blame Nick because it's his fault. To me, this team is talented. This team is as good as that Seattle team talent-wise, as good as that New England team. And if they tweak and do a couple of right things and the coaches offensively, that offensive coordinator works out, they're talented enough that they should be back in the Super Bowl. I'm not going to hold them to low standards like Mark holds his Cowboys. Okay, I'm going to hold them up to a championship. We're on a different level, Dallas and the Eagles. We're fighting for championships.
Then why did they fail, in your opinion, then this last year?
Who, the Eagles?
Yeah.
Because of coaching. Because they had an idiot coach. He did idiot things. He invented the prevent offense. How many games did we lose because after we had big giant leads and we just blew it? No, I blame the coach and I think the offensive line. But the fact that the coach and the offensive coordinator did not have an answer for what was happening, I think it cost the Eagles. I really, truly do. And I think that those were the two reasons why we lost.
I think, Mark, you tell me if you agree or not. I think the loss of Stoutland. I'm sorry, dude. I think that's a massive loss, dude.
I can't. I don't.
Do not agree, Philly. At least give me this: that Jeff Stoutland, outside of Vic Fangio, is the most important coach on that staff the last 5 years.
Yeah, I don't disagree. I hate that Stoutland got pushed out. But how are you going to tell me that Stoutland's such a great coach and then he got treated the way he did by Nick Sirianni? This guy pushed him out the door and went behind his back on the run game. Does that make any sense to you? And you're going to call this guy people are going to call him a great coach? This guy said, we don't need the second seed, Sills. He said, we don't need it. We don't need to play for the second seed. We could be the 3 seed. I mean, who does that? Every other team played their starters but us. So, no, I have problems with Nick.
Okay.
And I think he's a problem. Start talking about Nick, I get really pissed off. I'm sorry.
No, it's great. Go ahead, Mark.
Well, this is off that subject, but we may have a powder keg that's about to explode with Dallas, because with the Brandon Aubrey situation, we heard that the Cowboys, and we talked about it before, that the Cowboys say they offered $7.5 million, and reports were coming out that he wants $10 million.
$10 million.
Right. Before we came on, I saw a tweet where his wife had said, that's fake. And now Brandon Aubrey has tweeted out on some of these that that's fake. So Todd France, of course, wants to get that contract. Brandon Aubrey saying, you're lying on me. I never said that I turned this thing down. And I never said that I was asking for $10 million.
And here's why he's different than any other kicker. It's field position.
Yeah.
That this guy is the best. Even Vic, remember? Hey, Philly, remember Vic even said that guy in Dallas is going to kick a 70-yarder. It's just a matter of time before that guy kicks a 70-yarder. And to me, that guy flips the fucking field over, dude. You mean to tell me I can only have to get to the 45-yard line, and this guy's getting me pretty much points every single time? I mean, I'll tell you what. If Dallas doesn't want that guy,
I'll put
that guy over that stiff the Eagles have right now. Because that guy,
I agree.
That guy's. It's time to move on from that guy.
That kicker's the best player on their team. I mean, of course. Yeah, I agree.
Because he's instant points.
I know.
Instant.
Maybe if the Eagles could get better than starting at the 15-yard line, maybe we could be in a position to kick some field goals.
How about this last one here, guys? Last one here. Philly, did you say that the Dallas Cowboys were the most obnoxious fans? Voted by Fox Sports as the most obnoxious fans. And by the way, the Eagles were second. And their fans.
Of course we are. For no reason, no good reason.
The two most obnoxious fan bases. First you, Philly. Then I get Mark. I mean, what makes that fan base so obnoxious to you? You have a hatred for the Cowboys too. Man, you do.
I freaking hate that team. I hate it. I think they come straight from hell with that satanic star on their helmet. I think you should cover that thing up behind you, Sil.
I hear you, man. I
hate that team. I hate that team. And I don't look, we're Eagle fans, we're always gonna be talk about like we're bad fans. I don't care. That don't bother me. But Dallas, they're definitely obnoxious because they're entitled. They think that they deserve everything, yet they have done nothing in 30 years. And we're supposed to still bow to them? I don't think so.
You, Mark, what's up with you?
Wait a minute. I'm a nice guy. How could you hate me? What have I ever done?
I don't hate you.
Nonsense.
I hate your team. It's like when somebody's on the wrong path, but you can't talk to them and you got to choose to like them anyways. That's pretty much what it's like. I know that Mark guy's crazy, sacrificing chickens and all that voodoo he's doing, all that satanic stuff. Yeah, But you know what? I put that aside.
He's Santa Maria and everything going on with the Eagles. He puts that Santa Maria voodoo on.
Dude, did you ever wonder why they run out of chickens in December and January
I
in
thought
Dallas?
It was maple syrup. Hey, what's
man,
that 30-year say, by the way? Cowboy Life?
The guy's got a voodoo doll. He's got a voodoo doll, Sills. He literally show him the voodoo doll.
He did. He showed me the.
I've been trying to get Mark to chop the head off of that thing for years.
Oh, shit.
What's the shirt say?
The shirt, Cowboys life sentence. I'm doing hard time, man, in cell blocks.
That's what we got. That's why I told you straight from hell that team comes.
Man, boy, Philly, man. I like Philly though. See, Philly keeps everything. He's like, hey, we're good, man. We get rid of Stoutland. Fuck it, we're good. Hey, we may lose Jalen Phillips. Hey, it's okay, no problem. Hey, I hire a guy with a bib to be my offensive coordinator. Shit, it's all right.
I'm a half full kind of guy. I look at the cup as half full. I run out of gas. I go, I only got to walk a mile to get gas. It could be worse. I try to look at the positives.
I'm a half-filled kind of guy, too.
Dude, we're half empty with the Eagles, dude. We're dry. We're bone dry. Ain't no water in that cup. Come on. Ain't no water in that cup.
Hey, Mark, I know this right now. You ready?
Yeah.
The St. Elmo's is a famous restaurant in Indianapolis.
Mm-hmm.
My boy Carmine is the maitre d'. I asked him, I go, who's in the building right now? He goes, right now they're having an early dinner. Tory Dandy and Jimmy Sexton, those are AJ Brown's agents, and they're having a nice little conversation in there with AJ and with Howie. And so they're all in there, and Nick's in there too, and they're having I already got the dinner. You ready for the dinner? Here's the dinner. Ready? So they're getting their legendary signature shrimps. You get 4 of them, very spicy. I've had it before. Then you're having a 24-ounce, get this, porterhouse, $80. How's that for you? Then I didn't know Howie was a mac and cheese lobster guy. So he's having mac and cheese and lobster. And what do you think they're talking about, Mark?
Oh, man.
What do you think Philly, what do you think they're talking about?
I think they're talking about how they're going to move forward and that they're glad that and they're excited to see what AJ's going to do in this new offense, and it's going to be wonderful. And I also think a guy named Carmine is collecting envelopes over there. I'll bet you money.
What do you say? He does the underhanded palm shake.
He's collecting, dropping off envelopes over there.
There you go.
By the way, your Cowboy guys there too. Stephen and Jerry are there at the combines. You know that?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we're all waiting for Jerry Jones's infamous bus press conference to see what.
Actually, it's the working on the Pickens. From what I'm hearing, it's working on the Pickens tag. They'll have that done before the 11th, so they're going to tag him.
You got to have it done before the 3rd. That's the last day to put it on, by next Tuesday.
And possibly restructuring Williams.
Yeah.
So they're restructuring all those guys, in your opinion, you think?
They have to, because right now you're $55 million over. You got to get back under. Now you're going to be close, but yeah, I hope that they're going to be doing the restructures. Actually, I hope they actually get George Pickens a long-term deal, because if you do, then you don't have to restructure so many other people.
Can't wait to see what Parks Frazier does. God dang.
Look at you, half empty. Look at that dry.
I love you guys very much. Hey, Mark, you got to cut. Listen, if you sweep the Eagles, you got to cut the head of the chicken off, man.
It ain't happening, dude.
I don't know, Philly.
Somehow Mark's team is the only team that is getting better before anything has started. And somehow they've rose the rank. Philly, only Mark had that kind of confidence in December during the season, but in December he gets real quiet because he knows what's going to happen.
Are you saying the Cowboys win the offseason? They win the Lombardi offseason award?
They've won the offseason award right now, right? Because we haven't even started the offseason, and somehow they've gotten so much better, and they're on the right track. How could they be on the right track? We don't even know what they're going to do with free agency. You watch 2 weeks, they do nothing. Mark's going to be all depressed. Against Jerry. Well, Jerry Jones. I've seen it before.
How many videos today, Philly?
For Mark, probably 5 or 6. 2 are probably about the collapsing Eagles, that everything is all breaking loose.
I haven't really talked much about the team there, bro. But I honestly, I really have not.
That's good. Good.
I don't
That's
think
good.
you're a threat as you usually are.
Good. Keep thinking it. I like that.
Right now, I think they're a 7-win team.
Sounds about right.
I don't think that at all.
So you think they're a 14-win team?
No, I think they're right now. They are what they were. Where did they finish? 11 wins. I think they're 11, 13 wins. They are what they were at the end of the year. They haven't changed yet. We haven't done anything yet. But the team still got a lot of talent, a lot of talented pieces, a lot of young talented pieces. Now we're good. We're all right.
I think you guys have a shot at 12 wins this year.
You talking to me or Philly?
I'm talking to you. Philly, I don't know if Philly. I don't know if I even believe that.
I'm gonna take some of my wife's.
Philly,
B12
wait a minute. I don't
here.
know if I believe that either.
I need some B12 vitamin here.
Guys, I appreciate you very much, man. I love doing this segment with you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, my man.
Check out Mark Combs. Make sure you check out the legendary Philly.
Everybody go check out Mark Dallas.
Hey, I appreciate you guys more than you know. Thank you guys so much, man. All right, let's play some bills here. My great friends at Morgan & Morgan, the number one injury law firm in all of the world for a reason. It's because they win with over $30 billion recovered. Make no mistake about it, the legendary Morgan & Morgan, there is no firm like it. Family run, family owned, kids run it. Ultima and John Morgan have started this firm over 25 years ago. And if you ever are injured on the job, folks, I tell you, there's a family in Pennsylvania. I tell you about the story. $650K they were initially offered. They end up getting $30 million in recovery. Family down in Florida that was initially offered $350K. They end up getting $12 million. Go to forthepeople.com/big sales or pound law 529. That's forthepeople.com/big sales or pound law 529. And do me a favor. You tell them Big Sales sent you.
There's a reason Detective Johnson is the gossip king.
Oh, did you hear? Jackie and Tom
are getting a divorce? Mm-hmm. Sad.
Well, I heard that Ashley
had work done on her face? Yeah, oof.
Just like there's a reason Morgan & Morgan is America's largest injury law firm. Injured? With over $25 billion recovered for our clients, there's a reason to go big.
Bathroom? Okay.
Morgan & Morgan, America's largest injury law firm.
Oh, okay.
Ignite your nights with free live entertainment daily, only at Live Casino and Hotel Philadelphia's Center Bar. 7 days a week, enjoy some of the region's top party bands, performers, and DJs as they take the stage in the heart of the casino action. Great cocktails, live music, and lively moments. It's all happening at Center Bar at Live Casino and Hotel Philadelphia. Visit livecasinophilly.com for more details and the complete list of upcoming events. Must be 21 or older. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
This is Eric. When he got injured in a car accident, he called Morgan & Morgan. He not only gets a lawyer, he gets trial lawyers like Sam and Jessica who are in it to win it. He gets his own investigators with briefcases, leather ones. And if you ever have questions, our customer service folks keep things rolling. Injured? We're your army. Morgan & Morgan, America's largest injury law firm.
Welcome to the Jet Setters and the High Rollers, to the Shot Takers and the Tastemakers. Welcome to the Viewfinders, the Thrill Seekers, and the Night Owls. Welcome to everything you could possibly want on one 5 Mile Island. Welcome to the Wildwoods.
Wild, wild, wild.
Book your stay today.
In our hometown, we all look out for each other. We go the extra mile to lend a helping hand. We step up to keep our communities going strong. And at Independence Blue Cross, we're here to keep you going strong. We've been deeply rooted in our communities for more than 85 years. And that connection to members has earned us our spot as the #1 health insurer in the region. So while you look out for your neighbors, know IBX is always looking out for you.
Your gut says Miami is going to win, and you should take the over. Your gut also said your NFT selfies would only go up in value. They didn't. But your head is on Sports Grid and knows the QB is in concussion protocol. The backup has a 45 QBR against the zone coverage. The New York D has the most sacks in the league. So yeah, trust your head. It's smarter to be on Sports Grid.
EAGLES. Eagles.
Look at old Twiz hanging in there. Thank you, Twiz. Appreciate you very much, man. Thank you, bro. O-line, tight end. I like this guy, Roofer. O-line, tight end, cornerback 2, safety. Sign one of these positions in free agency and get the rest in the draft with getting a tackle and guard maybe in the first round. I don't know about getting a guard in the first round. I'd do that in the second round. But, yeah, listen, they're not going in free agency and making a splash. They're just not. Deshae, it's not Nick. It's upstairs, dude. He's their thoughts and mouthpiece. Deshae, I'll say this. I disagree a little bit with John McMullen on this. I think there is influence in the coaching when it comes to picking the coaches. I don't believe – here, well, Doug Peterson was on yesterday with us. And do you guys think they had any influence on who played on Sundays? Do you think they had any influence? Wasn't that one of the bitches that Doug had? Was that they had an influence on who was going to be active on Sundays? Wasn't that one of his complaints? He would get a letter, or he would get a he would get like a piece of paper with the guys that would be active on Sunday. Don't you remember the last game that Doug Peterson coached in the NFL? What was that whole shit about? When they benched Jalen Hurts and pulled everybody out. You think that was Doug's decision? To bench all those guys? That wasn't Doug's decision. That was the dudes upstairs' decision in what they wanted to do. How in God's name do you think that a head coach would not want to put their best players? So what? You think Doug threw a game? How do you not think that upstairs dictates who plays Sundays? They're involved in everything else. Okay, they're involved in everything when it comes to player personnel and it comes to decision-making on that football team. I don't know how you don't think that. You know, like I said, here's the one thing you go back and as we started the program, Doug said this yesterday. Go back and watch it. You build the offense through the eyes of the quarterback. Do you believe that the Philadelphia Eagles, with this new coaching staff, is building the offense through the eyes of the quarterback? Absolutely no way. They're building it through the eyes of the head coach. The head coach is making these decisions. Here, on everything you do on February 25th, dude, it's going to have ramifications on how you play in September. How many times I tell you that? What, you think, right? Get this. All the things you do, right? You build your championship team right now, not in September. September is the payoff of all the work you do. Free agency, drafting, re-signing, getting players healthy. All of that stuff, all of that is everything that you're doing right now. These meetings that are going on in Indianapolis. By the way, like I said, the conversations right now about A.J. Brown, it's one of the hottest conversations in Indianapolis right now. I just showed you how I text an executive with one football team. I did the Patriots. And one of the executives texted me back and said, yes, a strong possibility we're going after AJ. Okay. If it's one team, don't you think it's 10 teams as well? I mean, every single thing you do right now is going to dictate how well you go into the draft and how well you go in free agency. Like I said, too, you guys think you're going to be a player in free agency? Like you're going to spend money? I don't think that at all. I think these 2 years, last year and this year, are, again, a setup for 27 and 28. You got like a ton of money that you got to decide on what you're going to do with respective players that are coming up on the defensive side of the football. I mean, if you kick the can down the road, you got to, are you going to sign Jordan Davis? You think they signed Jordan Davis or Jalen Carter this offseason? I think it's Davis. And then you got to determine what that number is. How much would you pay Jordan Davis right now? $17 million annual? I'm not paying a guy who plays first and second down and has had one good year on the football team, north of $20 million bucks. KCA, here's the problem you get with that. This guy's had one really good year. Let me take a look at Jordan Davis. By the way, he had a really good year. And I will concede to that. Jordan Davis. Okay, Jordan Davis. I'll tell you exactly what I'm paying for him. This last year, Jordan Davis, 17 games. I'll tell you one thing I do love about the guy. He's been available for every single game. And since he's been an Eagle since his rookie season, he has started his sophomore NFL season 17-17-17, which is exceptional, especially for a big dude, especially for a guy inside. And 4.5 this past season with 72 tackles. The year previous, 27 tackles total, 45 tackles, and 18 tackles. How many TFLs? 9 TFLs. That's really good. He had a really good season. Now, between 15 and 20, so 15 and 20, okay? How much you paying Jalen Carter then? I'm going to show you going down what Howie's got to deal with. Let's say everything goes perfectly. $20 million for Jalen Carter or Jalen Phillips. Okay? $20 million for Davis. 35 or 30 for Carter. And then you got Hunt on a rookie deal. 5. That's 50. That's $70 million bucks. 17-4 for the linebacker. So you got $84 million bucks lined up on your defensive side of the football. And on the other side, you have $200 million bucks. So if you got 4 dudes on defense and the rest of all your money, which is going to be around $301 million bucks, the salary cap, you got $280 million in your offense and 4 dudes on defense. That's a lot of money. And that's a lot of dough lined up with 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 guys. That is a ton of money. A ton of money. And I'm telling you, my biggest problem so far here, my biggest problem so far with the Eagles offseason has been one thing. It's not AJ. It's this Stoutland thing. That has been the biggest problem for me. It has been the biggest problem, has been the Jeff Stoutland and how they've handled this whole thing. You know, I had a conversation last night with Adam Kaplan again, and he said that when Jeff Stoutland left, Jeff Stoutland didn't even clean his locker out. He didn't even clean his desk off. He didn't even clean his office out. He walked out and just left. This was a really bad breakup. This isn't like what the Eagles are telling you, that it was a handshake and these guys just walked out. Stoutland was insulted by the head coach. Again, I'll go back and say what I said yesterday. It is Nick's team. It's Nick Sirianni's team. And Nick Sirianni has every right to do any way he feels suited on how he wants to run his coaching staff. My problem with Nick is that you tell me, we went over this. So in a matter of 6 months, from the time February 9th when you won the Super Bowl until you decided to start changing things up in the offense. And by the way, who was the forefront of that? Do you think Nick thinks that Jeff Stoutland cost Nick his buddy's job, Kevin Patullo? Ask yourself that. Maybe this is why he's pissed, that he thinks that Jeff Stoutland cost Kevin Patullo his job, is because they were never on the same page. This was more of an issue. I think this is more of an issue that many of you are thinking it was. I think Nick and Jeff Stoutland started butting heads. And you had an old coach who was set in his ways, and Nick's going to win that argument with the front office. And the front office sided with Sirianni. And maybe this is why also management and Howie and everyone saying, I don't have anything to do with this. This is all Nick here. These are Nick's decisions. Nick's going to do this. This is his baby. This is his role. Okay? Parker wants to being someone from the Eagles to help that defense get up and running. I happen to agree with you. Okay? Dan Sileo. I can't believe the Eagles want to trade Tanner McKee to the Jets. Anybody hearing that? Thank you very much. Doug was great yesterday. Go back and watch that thing. Hey, by the way, he's not just a kicker. I'll pay that guy $10 million. I'll tell you this. That guy is a weapon. That Aubrey, he's a weapon. I mean, that guy, you're missing the point on him. You want to get this. So, Brandon Aubrey, he's worth every cent of $10 million. I would clearly pay that guy $10 million. So you're telling me, even Vic said this. Vic goes like this. This dude is going to kick a 70-yard field goal one day. So that means this. You got to get to the 40-yard line. If you get to the 40-yard line, your own 40, that means you're in field goal range already. You get the fucking ball on the 35. You only have to go 5 yards for the Cowboys to be in field goal position. How is that not worth $10 million? That's totally worth that money. I don't have a problem with that. You're not talking about Jake Elliott and his sorry ass. Jake Elliott, the last 2 years, has hurt the Eagles. The guy makes $6 million. $4 million more for a weapon like that? I'm not sure what you guys are looking at. And when Philly says he's the best player on the team, well, if a guy can get me 9 to 12 points every game, he is, and he's one of the most valuable players on my team. Aubrey Huff is guaranteed to give the Cowboys at least 9 points every game. You don't think that's worth $10 million? Dude, I do. That's big money. That is absolutely big money. No question. And for them to do that, and I completely agree. And, you know, there's contract going back and forth, so whatever. But I don't have a problem with that. All right. So the conversation that we said earlier is going on right now. Now, here, I said this and I say it again. How many people believe as of right now, on February 25th, what's the odds right now of AJ coming back to the Eagles? What do you say? What's the odds of him coming back? I don't believe they're strong. I don't. And here's why I don't. You got a brand new staff. How is that real? Think about this. How does a brand new staff, how does that inspire AJ to want to come back? And here's the other question. Do you think Jalen Hurts in the offense is going to struggle early? I do. It's brand new. They're going to be doing new things, new blocking schemes. They're going to be running new routes or different routes or adding new. How are you not thinking that this is going to be a little bit more of a difficult transition? It's going to struggle early. This is why I don't really have a lot of wins for the team this year. I'm not saying you're not talented. I'm saying you're going through a facelift here and you're adding new components to your football team. How do you not think that, again, you're going to go into a football season and you're going to have a complete facelift on offense and not think there's going to be some change and some mistakes that are going to be made? How about this? You think Hurts has high turnovers this year? Like he did every year? He had when they turned up the volume when it came to throwing the ball? You think there's more turnovers? Are they getting rid of that risk averse? And are they going to try to throw the ball, 30 times? Every time he goes north of 30, and they ask the quarterback to do that, the quarterback struggles. This is not his offense. That's not his style of play. So I do. I think he's going to struggle a bit. He's going to he's going to have to learn new blocking assignments, setting protections. So let me get this right. He's just barely learned how to set protections. Now he's going to learn a brand new blocking scheme. I'm talking the quarterback. So the quarterback is going to learn a brand new blocking scheme. And you're telling me that, right? That this is going to be an easy transition for him? I don't know. All right. I want to hit on something that I saw last night. And it was at the State of the Union. Follow me here. I thought it was really dope seeing the hockey players last night at the State of the Union. And I thought it was pretty cool seeing those guys there. And I really liked the fact that you saw, the U.S. hockey team that was there at the State of the Union. I absolutely. Sue, go with me on this, though, okay? Thank you, Stevie. Appreciate you, bro. Here's my problem with last night. So the U.S. women weren't there. And my problem with the U.S. women not there, so when Trump goes down that lane and doesn't have the U.S. women there, bro, you got the midterms coming up. And you're going to need those chicks if you're going to want to keep both houses, and for you to sit there and not call the women after they won their gold medal, that hurts you. Can you imagine? You could have had some of those women out campaigning for you. And to me, it came off a bit sexist. You needed to do the same thing for the women and give the women the call, congratulate them, and have both of them showing solidarity at the State of the Union last night, because it comes off looking like, especially when you did this, and you said this to the men. Here's the case. Well, that's exactly what it makes it look like. Make me a sandwich. Instead of this, hey, congratulations. This is what Trump did. Trump went like this. We got to invite the chicks too. We got to invite the women. It's not a good look, dude. Even if you don't mean it, it's not a good look. You're going to need women to vote in November if you want to keep both houses. You could have, again, whether you believe it or not, Twiz, that guy needs chicks and he needs the minority vote if you want to keep both houses, or you're not. And we're going to go through 2 years of impeachment because the Democrats want blood with this guy, especially after how he kicked their ass at the State of the Union last night, calling people out all over the place, calling the Supreme Court out. This guy was kicking people's asses last night, calling Nancy Pelosi. I mean, this guy took the gloves off. I'm watching the State of the Union last night. That was a popcorn and beer thing. I'm going like, holy shit, Trump is kicking people's asses. Look at these pathetic people. And I'm going like, holy shit, I've never seen anything like that. The only other person I've ever seen talk like that has been Jerry Jones. Trump says he runs Venezuela. I run Venezuela. And I'm sitting there watching that thing last night, and I'm like, oh my God. Hey, if you stand up for America, stand up. Look at these pathetic people. I'm sitting there watching. It was one of the most iconic State of the Unions. And I watched that entire thing. I'm going, holy shit. This guy is kicking their ass. And do you think in November, if that guy, they're going to come for blood for this dude? You bet. Holy people are licking. Hey, Nancy, where are you? See that woman there? Hey, no more insider trade. I'm like, what? Holy cow. I mean, hey, I don't know how many times I said, oh my God, this guy's taking a flamethrower to the State of the Union. And that thing must have got great ratings last night. It must have just got enormous ratings in the way that he was just kicking people. It was the longest of all time, right? And I did like the way that the guys came out, and the guys were there representing Team USA. I don't know if it's in the same conversation as Lake Placid. And it's not, obviously, because those guys were amateurs. But I got to tell you, man, that thing last night. I'm not telling you who to vote for, and I'm not telling you who to like. That's not my place. I don't use my shows to tell you who to vote for. But I never, and I took political science in college, and I took political science in college, and I took communications in college, obviously. And watching that State of the Union, I'm like, I've never seen anything like it. Trump is a one of a kind. Whether you like him or you don't, I've never seen anything like the guy. I mean, do you know why Hollywood hates this dude? Hollywood hates this guy because he's on TV every day, on every network, and he dominates it. And they're jealous of him because he's on the tube every single day. Biden, I never saw him for 4 years. This guy was somewhere in the White House hidden out or in his basement in Delaware. This guy, Trump, is in front of the television set every single day. He's like Jerry Jones. He's like the Jerry Jones of politicians. Jerry likes the spotlight. You see him at the combines? Jerry Jones is in front of everybody at the combines. And, hey, like I said, Mikey, once again, I'm not telling you I like polarizing. One of my favorite words is polarizing. I'm a content guy. So for me, I look who moves the needle. What guys move the needle, good and bad? Like in our world, the sports world, who moves the needle in the NFL? Well, the needle they don't have a face. The NFL itself moves the needle. In the NBA, who moves the needle? Nobody really. Nobody's moving it. In baseball, Shohei Ohtani, Bryce Harper. Okay, Bryce moves the needle kind of in a way. He's a needle moving guy. All right? He's the guy that kind of does that. That thing last night, and I couldn't wait to see how they were going to present Team USA. And I thought it was awesome. I really did. Get a chance to represent your country. You know, I got asked the question the other day again. Would you rather have a Super Bowl ring or would you rather have a gold medal? Super Bowl ring or gold medal, representing your country, standing up there and having the national anthem. And for me, I'd rather do this. See, when I was younger, I probably wanted the gold medal. But as I got older, what pays me more? Give me the ring. I'll take the Super Bowl ring instead of the gold medal. Okay? Trump is a celebrity. First, that's why. I think, hey, I'll tell you this too, Damon. I think all these politicians are celebrities. Take a look at their X accounts and how many people follow these guys. It's to me like these politicians nowadays, they're now celebrities. They don't represent our country. You know, they represent themselves. He is a celebrity. No question. Jerry Jones is a celebrity. He's at the combines. And he's holding court at the combines. You know, I got to ask, you know, going to the combines, and like I said, I've been there probably 5 or 6 times. I've been to the combines. So when you go there and you watch the kids get in there, I'll tell you the difference in the players today than when I played. There's no question. When you go there, I was there. How many years ago was I? I was there about 6 years ago in Indianapolis. I can't remember who the first round pick was. I was there 6, 7 years ago. I was at the combines. Like 7 years ago. I've been to like 5 of them. And the one thing that you notice that's different compared to the past is that the defensive dudes are just bigger and they're faster than when I played. And they weigh more. A guy like Jordan Davis, weighing at 300, what was he, 348? And he ran a 4.78. Guys like that don't move like that. And so when players like that put those kind of times in, and you see that, and you start to see that more on a consistent basis, okay? And you see that on, like I said, you see that more on a consistent basis. And you see these linebackers running. And these linebackers are running like 4.43s. And you're just amazed on how fast they are. And you see the athletes coming out of college now. Are they better than when I played? I don't think they're as skilled. And I don't think they're as ready to play in the National Football League as when I played. Because when you're in college, we had unlimited practice time. And we were able to play and practice Like if Jimmy Johnson had a practice for Jerome and myself, we could be out there 3.5 hours. Nowadays, there's a time frame on how many hours that you get in full contact with players. Like our practices at UM would be something like we like on Monday, we'd get out there. It would be kind of a light practice. We'd have helmets and shorts, and shoulder pads. Tuesdays and Wednesdays were full contact. Thursdays was more helmets and shorts and shoulder pads. And Friday, we would have helmets. We would just have helmets and shorts. But in that time frame, Jimmy worked the shit out of us. And we would have 3.5 hour practices every single day. And we pretty much would be going over the same stuff. The only problem is that we wouldn't have full contact. So we probably had in season, we would go Tuesday, Wednesday, maybe sometimes a little Thursday, depending on how, if they thought we needed some more practice, especially if we were playing against a run team, we would go down that lane. And we would go down that lane and play that and do that. And that you got more preparation to get yourself ready to go to the NFL and get ready to get drafted and go and have these guys look at you. It's really cool to process. I mean, the process is pretty cool. Scouts will come down from I remember for us, the Patriots came down, and this is not pro day. This is closer to like the draft. And for me, it was a different situation because I went to supplemental. After I went and people were starting to think that I was going to have to go into supplemental, the NFL scouts came down and they started like working me out. And then my agent and I decided, Bob Wolf and Randy Fataha, we decided that we weren't going to really work, but we would do the interviews. So I think if I remember right, the interviews, which they're doing right now, the interviews, in my opinion, are one of the most important things because you're getting a chance. And back then, they could sit with you for an hour or so. I think there's a time limit on it now and how many minutes that you can, that you have with the player. So you sit there, and if I'm not mistaken, it was about an hour. And so they would get you in a room, they would start talking to you, and they'd start asking you the wildest questions. I told you some of the questions. Then what they would do is they would call your high school coach. I remember Joe Angelo calling me. He goes, all these teams are calling me about you. What do you want me to say? I go, tell them what you want. I don't care. I mean, I had a great high school career. It was all state, was all American in high school. I don't care what you tell them. I mean, did you not like coaching me? And he's like, no, I loved you. I go, then tell them what you want. I don't care. So they would go back there. Then they would go to my college coaches. And I was always worried about them contacting the Maryland guys because I hate the Maryland guys except for Bobby Ross. And I never really liked any of those guys. My teammates I loved. And, of course, the Maryland guys didn't speak highly of me, but the Miami guys did. And at the time, the Miami guys were getting ready to go to the Dallas Cowboys. So they kind of took the Miami guys' words. Butch Davis, Dave Wannstedt, all the coaches that had coached me. And so they came down. I remember, I'm trying to think. Did the Eagles come down? Buddy came down to talk to me again. And I told you, he coached me for 2 years. Buddy Ryan coached me for 2 weeks, 2 straight years. And they came down, and I remember he came down. Who was the general manager? Does anybody remember who the GM of the Eagles was in 1987? 1987. Eagles GM. Eagles GM. Harry Gamble. Harry Gamble. Harry Gamble came over with Norman Brayman and Buddy. And I remember they came over, and I remember they took me to dinner. They took me to Joe Stonecrab. The Eagles did. And they go, hey, we're thinking of taking you in the draft. And I remember, I'm like, yeah, you took Jerome the year before. And so Mr. Brayman was like, you know how much I love you. Mr. Brayman gave me my Corvette. He's the guy who goes, you know how much I love you. And I go, yeah. He goes, so Buddy was talking to me, and he goes, you know, your guy's lazy a little bit. I'm like, I said, you know, Jerome's all right. I go, Jerome's my guy. I'm one of Jerome's guys too. I go, I love the dude. And so we had dinner, and then Buddy and I were talking, and he's like, you're a great player. I really, you know what I think of you, but I don't know if I can handle both of you guys. And plus we got, who was the guy there? They had a guy by the name of Mike Pitts that was there in the building, and they had a dude there. And I remember Harry Gamble took me, and we went to the Hurricane facility, and we went over, and I ran a 40 for him. I think I did a 4.8 for him, and I think I ran that 4.8 for him, and he was like, okay. So I remember they went away. Then the Patriots came down. I showed you that letter that the Patriots wanted, and the Patriots I thought they were gonna draft me. Hey, Joe, I got to do another 30. So let's not do a full commercial. So let's just do the Morgan & Morgan and do the commercial spot, and we'll come back right here if we can. We won't do a full commercial here. Morgan & Morgan, the number one injury law firm in all of America, for a reason. It's because they win. It's the number one decision. I tell you all the time, make no mistake about it, that it's family owned. It's family run. This will be the easiest decision in your life. Go to forthepeople.com/big sales or pound law 529. That's forthepeople.com/big sales or pound law 529. And do me a favor, you tell them Big Sales sent you.
There's a reason Detective Johnson is the gossip king.
Oh, did you hear? Jackie and Tom
are getting a divorce. Sad.
Well, I heard that Ashley
had work done on her face. Yeah, oof.
Just like there's a reason Morgan & Morgan is America's largest injury law firm. Injured? With over $25 billion recovered for our clients, there's a reason to go big.
Bathroom? Okay.
Morgan & Morgan, America's largest injury law firm.
Oh, okay.
Guys, I appreciate you. Do me a favor, hit that like button. I think we're going to get a lot of news coming out of Philly and out of the combines the next couple days here. I really do. I think we're going to get a lot of news. I think we're going to get people, again, without a doubt, and whether or not AJ moves, okay, if they're going to end up trading him, what happens with him. I think it's going to be an interesting week. I appreciate you very much. Thank you so much. Again, don't forget to hit the like button, and we'll see you on the flip side.
Ignite your nights with free live entertainment daily. Ignite your nights with free live entertainment daily, only at Live Casino and Hotel Philadelphia's Center Bar. 7 days a week, enjoy some of the region's top party bands, performers, and DJs as they take the stage in the heart of the casino action. Great cocktails, live music, and lively moments. It's all happening at Center Bar at Live Casino and Hotel Philadelphia. Visit livecasinophilly.com for more details and the complete list of upcoming events. Must be 21 or older. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
This is Eric. When he got injured in a car accident, he called Morgan & Morgan. He not only gets a lawyer, he gets trial lawyers like Sam and Jessica, who are in it to win it. He gets his own investigators with briefcases, leather ones. And if you ever have questions, our customer service folks keep things rolling. Injured? We're your army. Morgan & Morgan, America's largest injury law firm.
Welcome to the Jet Setters and the High Rollers, to the Shot Takers and the Tastemakers. Welcome to the Viewfinders, the Thrill Seekers, and the Night Owls. Welcome to everything you could possibly want on one 5-mile island. Welcome to the Wildwoods. Book your stay today.
In our hometown, we all look out for each other. We go the extra mile to lend a helping hand. We step up to keep our communities going strong. And at Independence Blue Cross, we're here to keep you going strong. We've been deeply rooted in our communities for more than 85 years. And that connection to members has earned us our spot as the #1 health insurer in the region. So while you look out for your neighbors, know IBX is always looking out for you.
Your gut says Miami is going to win, and you should take the over. Your gut also said your NFT selfies would only go up in value. They didn't. But your head is on Sports Grid and knows the QB is in concussion protocol. The backup has a 45 QBR against the zone coverage. The New York D has the most sacks in the league. So yeah, trust your head. It's smarter to be on Sports Grid.
EAGLES. Eagles.